97.1.
Hi, everybody. We welcome you in from the Big Pond here in Champaign, Illinois for the second of two meetings between the McKendree Bearcats and the University of Illinois Fighting Illini, currently ranked 12th in the ACHA rankings. I'm Cristiano Simonetta, Stephen Cohen alongside. You'll hear from Eric Fisher, as well as just a couple of minutes at ice level. 161 miles separate these two teams, and last night it was a great one. McKendree got off to a very fast start, two quick goals, one from Dominic Nass, the other from Levi Armstrong, and then the Illini just took control of the game. 4 unanswered goals, one by Grant Stuve, another from Jack Graham. James McGinn got the game winner, and Bobby Ernsting, in his return from an upper body injury, he scored with the insurance marker. Illinois is off to a 7-0 start. Obviously, chance for them to be one of the best starts under his tenure. How well do you think he's coached this roster in the early portion of the season?
Well, first, let's just talk about that fact that Bobby Ernsting came back last night after missing a few games early on this season. And that line that we saw that was so unstoppable against Michigan State that first weekend of the season, James McGinn, Bobby Ernsting, David Kellner, got right back at it, scored 2 goals last night. McGinn added an assist, leads the team in points. So that line, they picked up where they left off, and that was great to see from them, from one of your top 2 lines. But your question was, what has Nick Fabrini done that's made him such a great coach? I think he's just letting his younger players play, and he's just putting them in. It's not like they have the most difficult schedule here at the start of the season. Every game, of course, important. All these games count towards the end of the season record and the ranking. But he's trusting all these freshmen. You put someone like Drew Richter, brand new to the program, on that top line with Grant Stuve and Eric Cruikshank, a place where James McGinn's been in the past. So just throwing them in those spots and trusting them and having young goaltenders and letting them fight through what they're going for. Jake Barnhart's going to get the start tonight. Ross Lippick has started 2 games. He's just letting them play, and that's all you can ask for a coach early on in the season.
The Illini's prominence came from the face-off dot, including Chance Holmgren. He missed a couple of games against NIU. He was back in the lineup, and boy, was he outstanding. 13 for 15 on draws, and number 9 also got a primary assist. It's a third-line guy in Chance Holmgren, but he's not playing like one.
Yeah, and that's very important because going forward next year, Eric Cruikshank's not going to be here. So it's going to be important that he takes one of those top 2 lines in the center spot. So that's going to be great to see that you've got someone so reliable. But just what that does to having your bottom 6, to be able to win so many draws, get all those offensive zone opportunities, it takes the pressure off those top 6 to try to do everything on offense, because the Illini can score all 4 lines, and we've seen that all season long.
And they outshot McKendree 45-12. So if you look down the shot breakdown of the first 3 periods, 8 shots for McKendree in the first, 3 in the second frame. How about this? They outshot them 17-1 in the third period. This isn't an Illini team that's going to sit back in the third period, especially if they've got the lead.
And let's talk about those first 8 shots. Those games went the first 5 minutes, I guess. So you're talking about the last 55 minutes of this game after McKendree picked up 2 goals in the first 4 minutes, 32 seconds. The Illini might have allowed 6-7 shots that whole game. That's incredible. So if this team picks it up early on and they play their game, they play quick, they come out energetic, they should be able to win this game fairly easily again.
Now, you were able to watch the game back on YouTube, as well as all of you can who are listening in, whether it be on WPGU or on the YouTube live stream. We thank you for joining us. Just in case you have just joined us, Cristiano Simonetta with you, Stephen Cohen alongside the Illini Hockey pregame show. We're just 13 minutes until puck drop. Illinois tries to extend their win streak to 8 against the McKendree Bearcats. So, Illinois, unbelievable effort to outshoot McKendree, but also they're playing their top 4 defensemen over 20 minutes a night, and especially a guy like Tyler Opilka, who plays 25-54, one of his career highs, against a Division II club in McKendree. We all know that they're not a Division II club in terms of the stereotypical easily walkable in the park. But for Tyler Opilka, is there an extra gear that he could still get to, especially when we get into conference play?
Let's talk about the 13 shifts that were over a minute long. So this guy is staying on the ice. He's going back. And also, this year, they changed up the defensive pairing. So he's with Joey Caprio, who has struggled with conditioning issues in the past. So to see him also play 23-35, though, that's a line that just can stay out there. That's so great for Nick Fabrini's club. Just to have smart hockey players that can play two ways. Then you got Joe Nolan on that top pairing with the captain, Joey Riddendale. There's no limit to how good these defensemen can be for the Illini just because they can stay on the ice.
We talked about the second line. Bobby Ernsting, David Kellner, James McGing. Ernsting and McGing carry this club with a +9 rating. When they're on the ice, they just seem to be able to keep the puck so far away from the opposition during their shifts that they're never even going to be in jeopardy of allowing a goal. Do you think that this translates well in the conference play, especially against a team like Lindenwood, who's in the top 10, top 5, and they could really put the puck in the back of the net? And I know we won't see them for a couple of weeks, but it's something to think about moving forward.
I think the skills that they bring, both of them, McGing and Ernsting, is huge for this team. Just you saw last night, if you went back and watched the game or watched the game live, or were here in the Big Pond, Joe Nolan had a saucer towards Bobby Ernsting where he was able to stop, had that awareness, and then was able to put in the net for the 4th goal tonight. James McGing, an assist and a goal as well. These guys have proven it before. Last year, James McGing for the past 3 years that they can score and they can put it up with anyone. So I think it's going to be a great situation for them when they get to CSCHL play in a few weeks.
Jake Barnhart gets the start tonight. We already saw him last week against the Northern Illinois University Huskies. He's a sophomore, but 1-0 on the season, 1 goals against average, and a .923 save percentage. And we looked at that NIU game where the Illini were unable to break away from the Huskies, and Jake Barnhart played really well. Could this have catapulted him up the depth chart as Ross Lippick sits tonight?
I think right now Nick Fabri's still trying to find out what his options are in that goal because David Eflin has played great so far. He's done everything you could have asked for him, and he's won all 3 of his starts. But now I think you're going to give a chance to someone like Jake Barnhart to try to earn that second spot because Ross Lippick had that shutout last year, gave up a goal, has given up a few goals this year. So had a shutout in his first career start this season. That's what it was. And I think right now Nick Fabri's still testing out his options. You love to have 3 goaltenders just in case something happens throughout the season. We saw last year that there were issues with Joe Olin at points, and that's when David Heflin and Zev Grimmon-Morris had to step in. So just in case David Heflin gets hurt this year, Ross Lippick, you'd love to have that 3rd goaltender and Jake Barnhart be able to rely on him in CSCHL play.
And the Illini will not face any conference opponents until 2 weeks from today, or yesterday I should say, October 26th and 27th against the Lindenwood Lions, one of their arch rivals. But McKendree, they can put pucks in the back of the net, 6.2 goals for per game, and their power play operating over 30%, and they capitalize on their first man advantage of the game. How will you see the special teams battle faring tonight?
Well, I think it's important that the Illini keep them to the outsides the first thing because 6 goals a game, the Illini only held them to 2 last night. They both came in the first 5 minutes of the game. So the Illini have to make sure they're just spreading McKendree out on the ice, not letting them get close to the crease, and that'll help the young goalie Jake Barnhart as well. But on special teams, that top line, the Illini's best line on the power play is as good as any line you'll see in this country just because they can put 5 scorers out there, 4 forwards, and a defenseman in Tauro Pilka who wants to score every time he gets the puck. So you've got scorers on the power play and on defense on the PK. Great job last night. Every goal came in even strength.
So now how at the other end, you just mentioned even strength. Levi Armstrong, Dominic Noss, they were able to score. 2 of the biggest threats on this Bearcats roster. Kept only a handful of shots between the both of them. How does Illinois instill this type of defensive scheme that is able to eliminate offensive production? We've seen it throughout the year, but Joe Nolan having a huge part of it. Joey Caprio continuing his rise. He doesn't have a point yet this season, but the defensive play of the guys on the blue line has been stellar.
Yeah, it's very unselfish play by them just to stay in their spot, not try to make any big plays, just try to keep McKendree to the outside or any team they're playing for that matter, and just not allow them to get many shots. And the line doing a great job of crashing the puck after his shots and not allow those second chance opportunities.
Christian Semena with you, Stephen Cohn alongside. The Big Pond here in Champaign, Illinois. We're just 7 minutes away from puck drop. Illinois 7-0 on the year, McKendree 5-2. Whether you're listening in on WPGU.com or WPGU 1071 or perhaps on YouTube for the live video stream. Illinois, how many times do we have to talk about these early starts against teams that aren't necessarily their top competitors, but they're able to win these games? How about McKendree, though? They started off really strong, getting those first 2 goals. How will the Illini start be? Because that's one of the things that we've worried about for this team the past 4 years that I've been here, and especially the past 7 or so.
Yeah, well, that's the first thing. We better not be talking about these slow starts any longer if they want to be playing into late February, early March in the ACHA national tournaments and not just getting kicked out in the first or second round as they have the past 2 seasons. So if the Illini want to make a dent in the ACHA, the HA standings this year, the rankings, they have to make sure they are playing fast out of the gate. We've seen the Saturday slumps before by the Illini. Cannot be the issue again tonight because you would love to enter against Lindenwood in 2 weeks, 8-0, 7-1 coming off a loss, a 2-week break. That's going to be a lot more uncomfortable than an 8-0 start, saying you went undefeated through that early non-conference stretch. And now you got 16 games left this year against CSCHL opponents.
7-0. It's great. It's a great benchmark. The Illini went undefeated with head coach Nick Fabrini on the roster in the bottom 6. So he understands how to play with an undefeated squad, and it can translate into any sport. You've always got that target on your back, and McKendree is going to try and play spoiler.
Now, I know you've talked to head coach Nick Fabrini a lot in the past. What has he maybe said about that undefeated team and how difficult it is to kind of bring that attitude every night? And does this team that the Illini have right now maybe have the mentality that they can possibly do that?
Well, that's what you saw in the first 5 minutes. They were flat-footed. I think they expected just an 8-0 route because that's what they've been exposed to in the first 6 games of the year where they outscored opponents 35-7. For head coach Nick Fabrini, he knows that they have to get better. He'll say it after every period, every time that we interview him, because he knows that no real damage has been done yet to divisional opponents who all rank currently higher than the Illini. So despite the record on paper, they still have to come in and play consistently for 60 minutes. And I really think that after they get through with the Bearcats, they're going to come into Lindenwood and at least try and split that series.
And you say that number 12 ranking right now, but I don't think that number 12 ranking means much at this point in the season because the Illini haven't really had a major test yet. You could say McKendree's a good club. NIU gave them a fight both games last weekend, but the Illini haven't been exposed to a team like Lindenwood or Iowa State or Ohio or Robert Morris. So once they get to those games, they're playing the same few teams for a few months. That's when that ranking starts to matter. But it's important tonight not to lose because that ranking go down from 12 to 15 super fast.
It can. And we saw the Illini season spoiled a couple of years ago by Illinois State when they came out flat and lost 7-2. Head coach Nick Fabrini says it was the most embarrassed time he's been in a hockey rink. And that's pretty incredible. Going through 2 national championships, he knows that anything less than perfection or at least a division title, it's a loss of a season, and they haven't been able to get that in his 5 years of coaching here. But they certainly are off to a great start, and they'll be coming against Iowa State, Lindenwood, Ohio, Jamestown, Davenport, all teams in the top 20. They got to get ready, and it starts tonight even against the Bearcats.
This is the last warm-up. This is it. From here on out, the next 4 months, the season begins. This past month and a half has been basically tune-ups, but the next 25 games or so, those are the ones that will really matter going forward.
And it certainly will, as Stephen Cohn alongside Cristiano Simonetta with you. Eric Fisher down at ice level. We hear the beautiful ESPN on NHL theme. I miss it so much, blasting through the Big Pond here in Champaign, Illinois. Illinois, we talk about it all the time. We just sound like a broken record here with the top lines of Grant Stuve, Eric Cruikshank, and Drew Richter. Richter's a right winger that came into this program from the Springfield Junior Blues. How has he been to you, and do you think that he remains in that top 6 pairing moving down the schedule, especially presumably that the Illini stay healthy, that he stays on that top line?
Well, I think it's a nice compliment to guys like Grant Stuve and Eric Cruikshank who have such they work so well off of each other. So I think to have a guy like Drew Richter just to be able to balance out that scoring, because he's a third option on that top line. You want all the options, but he's also very good in defense. He's been impressive both ways.
Joe Nolan, number 27 in orange and gray. They'll wear their orange and gray away uniforms technically. Well, technically they're their home jerseys, but we've seen more times often than not their brand new quote-unquote road jerseys at the Big Pond. They'll be wearing orange and gray. How's he been?
Is that a question? That's not a question.
You tell me. Hey, there are some people that haven't watched this team. They just see the record. They just see the box scores. Maybe they're tuning in for the first Illini hockey broadcast of the season. They see a 6'4" guy, and they immediately think Aaron Dusek. It's not number 28. It's number 27 in Nolan.
There's nothing to say about Joe Nolan almost. He's going to be one of the most dominant players this program has maybe ever seen when his 4 years is done, just because of the physical style he plays both ways. He's a terrific passer. We saw that with Bobby Ernst last night, but he can also score and light it up.
Joe Nolan, you look at his stat marks. Through 7 games this season, he has 11 points. The Illini have always preached offense from the back end, but head coach Nick Cabrini is a defense-first coach. Will that conflict moving down the line?
You asked the question again. I got distracted. It's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
You were at the Rutgers Illini game. That turned out.
Rutgers Illini game.
Exactly. Well,
no, it's fine. Yeah.
It's got to be fine because Rutgers just ran all over Illinois. Of course, we're talking about football in a hockey arena, but that was just a poor showing.
Yeah, no. So what was your question?
Back to hockey here. So, Joe Nolan, offense-first guy. Nick Cabrini, a defense-first coach. Will they end up quarreling in terms of just their types of play?
I think when you have a 6'4" defenseman that's physical at this level, it's not going to be much an issue because Joe Nolan can dominate. He's dominated every D2 player he's played so far, so I can't wait to see what he does against D1 guys because that's going to be a challenge for him, but I think growing defensively and then adding the offensive repertoire to his play, going to be great.
You see the Illini on your screen if you're tuning in on YouTube.com. The Illini on the right side, the right bench there in orange and gray. At the other end of the rink, the guys in purple, the McKendree University Bearcats. Hi, everybody. Cristiano Simonetta, Stephen Cohn alongside up in the treehouse here in the Big Pond. What a storied arena in the American Collegiate Hockey Association. Eric Fisher is down at ice level. He's crowded again. He can he can't catch a break.
That's an a cappella group again. I'm going to tell you that now.
Thank you for walking me through that. I didn't know.
That is color commentary at its finest.
You're a regular Chris Collinsworth.
Thank you.
So we look at the starting lineups tonight for Illinois. James McGing on the left wing, Bobby Ernsting down the middle, David Kellner on the right side. On defense, the captain, Joey Rittendale, number 2 on the left defense. On the right defense, his partner, Joe Nolan. Starting in goal is Jake Barnhart.
And tonight, that McGing, Ernsting, Kellner is actually the top line, so maybe that's a change going forward. Not that it matters too much. You know, each line's going to get 15, 20 minutes to play either way.
And you see the McKendree University Bearcats skating up their starters tonight. Blair Davies on the left side, Lazar Lestrick, the junior, the alternate captain down the middle, Dominic Noss, number 57 in purple. He will be a guy that you need to circle. Moving back to the blue line, Daniel Nordlander, number 44 on left defense, Alec Nichols on right defense, and Andrew Best, number 20 in purple. He gets the start once more, and Best, 17-2 last year. He's already got 2 losses this season. The Illini have a chance to give him and dish out a critical standard to his repertoire.
Well, let's just remember, he's not always playing D1 opponents. So that's 17-2 against a lot of D2 opponents, and McKendree has proven themselves that they are a very good D2 established club. And so the Illini have a great chance to sweep him this weekend, which would be very impressive, but we'll see what happens.
It's been a long Illini hockey pregame show, but you know how it always ends. A score prediction. What do you got?
I think the Illini are going to take this one 3-1. I think we're going to see Jake Barnhart give an early goal, but the Illini are going to strike first, 2 in the third period, and it's going to open this game up from a 1-1 tie to a 3-1 win.
The Illini have trailed 3 consecutive games. The opposition has scored the first goal. We saw it last night with Dominic Noss. Levi Armstrong added a power play marker. Illinois was down 2-0, so if you didn't tune in last night and you saw that first start to that first period, you were quite worried if you're an Illini fan, but you know what they do? 4 unanswered goals. It's a resilient bunch and a reason why that they've been undefeated through 7 games this season. We're going to send you down to ice level for the start of the national anthem.
This time, ladies and gentlemen, to please rise and move all caps and hats and face the flag over the scoreboard for the singing of our national anthem. Performing the anthem tonight is a University of Illinois mixed a cappella group. They are called No Comment.
beautiful rendition from the a cappella group No Comment here at the University of Illinois Ice Arena. Hi, everybody. Cristiano Cimento with you right now. Stephen Cohn alongside in the treehouse. Eric Fisher maneuvering his way from the opposition's penalty box over into the Illini. Should be a fun one. 7-0 Illinois, 5-2 McKendree, but they have to keep pace with their divisional foes. The Ohio Bobcats off to a great start, Stephen. Tell the fans about it.
Yeah, Ohio, one of the best teams in the country. Played Illinois great last year. Illinois, they escaped with a lucky victory. One goal. Was it Mark Candotti that scored the one goal? That was unexpected in the final minute of that game last season. Ohio up over UNLV. The Rebels 4-0 after a period. We talk about fast starts. The Illini have to match that kind of intensity coming in against D2 and lower D1 opponents.
And UNLV, they're not just some bottom feeder team. They're ranked 14th. Ohio getting off to a great start on their Saturday game, and we are underway here. Illinois versus the McKendree Bearcats. Illinois wins the draw. David Kellner tips it down. Out on the end boards, it's number 8, Alec Nichols for Blair Davies. Back out to center for Nolan. Nolan taps one ahead for Ernsting. Too far for him. Nordlander outlets out to center ice. Davies sets up a man on a tee. That was Lester. Jake Barnhart in between the crease. 1-0 on the season. 1.00 goals against average. 4.923 save percentage. Now Nichols, the alternate captain right defenseman, brings it over the line. Now to the Illini zone. It's number 6. That's Billy Lamb. He's hit to the ice by Joey Rittendale. James the Gang battles for it. He steals it. You got to watch out for number 13 in orange and gray. It's become one of our signature phrases, but that's how good he's been.
McKendree controlling puck possession this first minute of the game. The Illini unable to clear.
Nolan over skates. Now it's Golovko moving along the left side. He backhands one off the crossbar, and that somehow escaped the back of the net as Barnhart wages his first war against the Bearcats. Richter goes in offsides. A minute 11 into this first period. No score so far.
Yeah, I like the idea by Joey Rittendale, though, in the stretch pass across neutral ice to try to get it to Richter on the opposite side. Just offsides.
Crookshank down the middle, number 15 in orange and gray. Burlington, Ontario native, leads this team in goals with 6. But it's the Bearcats attacking. They throw one in, stick aside by Barnhart to the near side. Now here's Grant Stube in his own zone, leaves it for Joey Caprio. Senior defenseman has Crookshank up ahead, and Caprio's going to hit it to him. Crookshank negates icing against fellow number 15, Davies. Richter comes to his idol on the near side corner in the Bearcat zone. And he spins one around for Nordlander. Daniel Nordlander, one of the most talented defensemen on this McKendree lineup. You'll see him a bunch of times throughout this hockey game against the Illini's top line. Nordlander takes a drive. That one's blocked by Richter. Richter's got it in his skates late on his shift. Centers it out for Stube. Could be a minor 2-on-1 for Illinois instead. Number 25 is going to clear it down.
Yeah, not usually the kind of mistake between Stube and Crookshank. Usually much better with each other.
Spinning away is Levi Armstrong. He was poked at a diving effort there for number 7, Stephen Quinn. And McKendree keeps the puck. Now down low, it's number 17, Wilson out in front. And Quinn is able to spike that away for Homer.
Talking about effort, guys, in this team, no one gives more effort than Stephen Quinn.
The pass from Moskaluk to Quinn, misfired. Armstrong out to center for Wilson. Wilson trying to deke through Condotti. He's able to do so on the backhand. That one was steered wide. Armstrong back to the point. A shot there tipped, blocked by Condotti. Back to the right point for number 4, Reeder. Just kept it in on sides. And Quinn, the tenacious forward he is, collides with him. Now out for Moskaluk in the offensive zone for Illinois. 17-17 left in this first period. Zeros are wild in Champaign so far.
Illini playing faster than that first period last night, just not getting any chances at the net yet.
Condotti steps up and knocks down Wilson. The puck is along the end boards in the Illini zone. Armstrong to take. 9 goals on the season. He comes away with it. Armstrong wrapping around. Homer draped over him. 2 friends there in Homer and Armstrong. I talked to Homer on Thursday. He said Armstrong, he really gets his goals from around the blue paint. And over the circles. Now a shot there. And a save made by Barnhart off the stick of Ty Watt, the captain of this Bearcats team, who missed last night's game.
Yeah, how do Armstrong and Homer know each other? Is that from high school?
I believe they played together. And they also live by each other. So that also helps. So watch out for that dynamic going forward. Obviously no love lost between these two guys as Bearcats win the draw. Now Watt plays it over to the far side corner. Travis Bobb bumped by 2 Illini members. And now thrown out to center ice where number 12, Jason Belkey, couldn't keep it in. 16:30 left in the first period. No score between the Illini and the Bearcats of McKendree University. Justin Reese skating away against Bob. Rittendale cuts a man off on the near side. It's the fourth line for Illinois to outlet. Reese now for Nolan, now for Evan Sable on the left circle. Sable out in front for Nolan, he scores! The offensive defenseman. 3:49 into the first period. Illinois is off and running.
Looks more like a forward out there than anything else. Gets the pass from Evan Sable and keeps going. And that just the fact that he knew to keep going, not to stop in the high slot. Great job by Joe Nolan.
Now, we've been talking about Evan Sabo hungry for his first goal all year, but he makes the unselfish play there to make a beautiful pass to Nolan. And so far this weekend, Sabo's been doing all the little things right on this fourth line for the Illini. And so far this year, he's finally getting it all the payoff as he gets one of his first points of the season.
3:49 in. Nolan gets the goal. Eric Fisher just mentioned Evan Sabo. That's his first point as a member of the Illini, and boy, was that a sweet dish to Nolan, who was in the clear.
Yeah, he wanted to score back when they played Illinois State a few weeks ago. Didn't get a chance then. But now able to get that first point on the assist to Joe Nolan, who picks up another goal so far in his brilliant freshman campaign.
We saw Tyler Opilka leading this Illini blue line in points. Now it's the rookie. I wonder if that'll force some internal competition between number 22 and number 27. Back underway here. David Kellner escapes a man. Now goes wide on number 8. That's Nichols. Kellner whacks one back in. James McGing to take it. McGing out in front for Ernsting. Nice toe drag there on his backhand, sending out in front for Kellner. But he's pestered by 3 Bearcats, and he almost hooked number 18, Golovko. Golovko battling with it, digging around a man off sides, but Kellner's able to take it before he's able to do so. And out to the red line again, over the blue line. Delayed offsides. Ernsting to get it. David Kellner led the Illini in hits last night, gets one there.
Pavolko, Pluto, Davis, all guys on the McKendree on that shift where they were not able to get control of the puck, and the Illini still have it now.
If you've just joined us, Christian Semeta with you. Stephen Cohn alongside Eric Fisher down at ice level. Joe Nolan's goal. 3:49 into regulation. Gives the Illini a 1-0 lead. McKendree trying to respond. It's number 11, Lestrick. Had it stolen away by Drew Richter. Look at the speed. Over the red line, over the blue line, far side circle. Attempted to toss one and thread it through. Missed everybody.
Yeah, Richter with that speed on the outside just to keep cutting to the line.
Speaking of Richter at the line, he tips one in. 14:28 left in the first period. McKendree now on the near side. It's number 57, Dominic Knotts. Heavy skater, now out to center for Brennan. Connor Brennan gains the line and dips one in. Opilka checks his man off the puck. That was Wilson. Opilka spins one to the far side where Richter lays a body on Armstrong. Physicality early in this hockey game. McKendree's got it. Now will dip one to the left point. And a drive there, deflected rebound, trying to score! It was a broken down play, but 5 minutes and 59 seconds into this first period, number 27, Connor Brennan, ties this game at 1.
McKendree got some traffic in front, and that Jake Barnard caught out of position too far from the net, and Tyler Opilka unable to get to a crease in time to save it.
That's a bad break if you're Jake Barnhart, because it's a puck that's coming to you. It's deflected in front. You don't know where it is. And the beneficiary of it, Connor Brennan, 4th goal of the season for the freshman from Colorado.
Yeah, that's what McKendree has to do. They instead, the Illini are going to try to keep him to the outside, but get that traffic in front of the net, and they're going to get second chances and deflections.
As Condotti gains the line and dumps it back in. So we've seen the response from McKendree, who are going to go to the penalty kill, as Condotti got one up high. 6:11 into the first period. 1-1 our score at the Big Pond. Christian Semeta with you. Stephen Cohn alongside. We're glad you can join us. Eric Fisher down at ice level. We get a roughing minor. Illinois heads to their first power play of the night. They were unsuccessful on both of theirs last night as number 26, the captain, Ty Watt. 2 minutes for roughing.
Yeah, we're going to see that top line for the Illini on this first shift on the power play.
Crookshank wins the draw back to McGing. Ernsting at the left point. 4 Illini forwards. Here's Tyler Opilka. Opilka now for Crookshank. Across for Ernsting in the left circle. He's got Opilka straight away. He hits him. Now for Crookshank, one-timer. That one just missed the glove of Best as Crookshank didn't get enough on it. 20 seconds gone by in the first Illini power play. Watt sits. 2 minutes for roughing. As Ernsting on the circle, he fires, high save, Crookshank trying to battle for it, and he has it. Skating away, fires one off the outside of the crease. As Ernsting quarreling with Nichols, and a great keep in by Opilka. The Illini rush stays alive. Stuve spins one back for Ernsting. A spinorama effort to create space. Now here's Opilka, top of the line. Opilka looking for deflection, and that one was off the end boards. And Best, off the outside of the cage, knocks his own net off. So 7:02 into the first period. Stuve whacking for it, as well as McGing. Nothing doing 51 seconds into this first Illini power play.
Guys, I'm really liking the puck movement the Illini have had on this power play. Now, they haven't got any shots in the back of the net on it so far, but they're getting the defense moving side to side, and that's going to lead to great shot opportunities eventually, leading further on in this special advantage.
And that helps on such wide ice. The Illini, if you get them going left to right and horizontally, the Illini are going to have those chances going back to the back of the net.
If you just joined us, you've missed a pair of 27s, both Connor Brennan and Joe Nolan scoring a goal as a four-man dog pile out on the left circle. A shot there from Stuve was too high for the 6'2" goaltender Best. Illinois back on the attack. It's Ernsting gaining the line left circle, drops one for Stuve. Top of line, power play out still. Crookshank back for Opilka. Crookshank leads the club. Pair of power play goals. Now Ernsting, very deliberate, going down low for McGing. The pass banked off the boards. He spins around Nordlander. Now to his backhand. 12:20 left in the first period. 30 seconds on the Illini power play. Opilka's got a wide open point. Will he use the screens? He does. Shot blocked down. That skitters wide of the crease for Nordlander. He stops and starts. Blocked there by McGing. And he plays pitch and catch with Ernsting along the near side. 17 seconds left in the Illini power play. Ernsting dekes in the middle. Back down low for McGing. McGing has Stuve. High sliding, fires one, and that one was stopped by Best. A beautiful arm save. Now Crookshank playing it to himself along the line. He keeps it in, and he'll fire one. Easy grab there for Best. Only one tick left on the clock of the power play. 11:50 left in the first. Tie game.
Yeah, that top line plays the entire shift in that power play, and I think they were able to keep in the offensive zone that entire 2-minute stretch. So I just feel like the Illini are going to at some point find the back of the net on a power play tonight, just because they were able to break that down and get a lot of shots.
Something unusual for the Illini. They haven't faced a goaltender with the glove on the right hand. As we get back to 5-on-5 here. So Andrew Best, he's got the blocker on the left side, and Joe Nolan, a right-handed shot, was able to exploit it early. We'll see if more right-handed shooters for Illinois are able to capitalize there. 11:35 left in the first period. Back out to center ice for the goal scorer, Nolan. Goes back for Rittendale. Forecheck by Naas. Here's Moskluk tipping one in. Quinn has to tag up. Ryan Reeder out of Granite City, Illinois. Turns the puck over to Nolan, who pinches, and now a 2-on-1 for Illinois. Here's Stephen Quinn on the left side as Moskluk cutting in, and that one was just a bit in front. But number 7 and number 17, they've got great chemistry, weren't able to cash in.
Yeah, good idea on Stephen Quinn to be unselfish and pass it off.
John Moskluk goes over for Reeder on the far side half boards. He escapes. Puck's on Rittendale's stick, and the Illini are going to possibly go to another power play as there was a whistle. A hold is going to be called. 9:03 into the first period as Moskluk may be the guy getting the gain. He looks a little confused as he was tangled up with Ryan Reeder.
Yeah, it's going to be John Moskluk going for 2 minutes to the penalty box.
So an offensive zone penalty. One of the worst in hockey to take. It puts the highly explosive McKendree power play to work.
Yeah, and it makes the Illini already have to put out David Kellner and Eric Crookshank again, so that short break for someone like Crookshank.
But he wins the draw, though, and Nolan dumps it down.
We win the race to the puck, too.
Best will keep it and wind one around to the near side. Moskluk gets 2 minutes for holding. We saw Ty Watt already get the gate as well for hooking. So Illinois 0 for 1. Here's McKendree's turn to attempt to get their first lead of the night. Wilson spirals one in. Nolan's going to take it and shovel it down. An element of the rookie's game where he certainly thrives in. Now here's Wilson. Wilson checked by counter. He's able to get the puck back as Reeder drops it for number 17 in purple. He had 7 out of his 12 points this season in one game against Mizzou earlier this month. Now back to the top of the line. He fanned on it now. Kellner almost drew a penalty, puts one hand on a stick, and now tries to elevate it for McGing, and he tried to go between his legs, but the puck bounced over his stick. McGing back for Caprio. Now over for number 22, Opilka, and he'll dump it down.
Illini has patience on the PK, just to not try to make any big plays and try to steal the puck away, just laying McKendree, and they're still not getting any shots as we saw last night.
Levi Armstrong leads the club with 3 power play goals, hands it off for Connor Brennan, who already has a goal tonight. Brennan gains the line along the end boards. Opilka defending him, now out for Nordlander, he fires, and a left pad save, and a rebound try. Looking for a low slot deflection was Blair Davies, and that just missed. The Bearcats pressuring here, with only 20 seconds left in their first power play. They dump it in. Will Joey Caprio be able to excavate it? He has it and clears it between the 2 defensemen. So looks like the Illini are going to be able to match McKendree's penalty-killing prominence in the early portions of this hockey game.
Yeah, great pass by Joey Caprio to thread it in between 2 defensemen in the neutral zone.
Moskalik heads off, the 4th line heads on, which created that first goal for Illinois. Evan Sabo with the primary assist, and of course the blue liner in Joe Nolan. The goal scores. This puck is deflected on as Brennan put the puck to the middle. 11 minutes and 14 seconds into this hockey game. Cristiano Simonetta, Stephen Cohn alongside. It's been a tight game, not a lot of area, or not a lot of zone time in the middle of the ice, trying to cancel out both teams' play off the rush. How has Illinois fared so far?
Yeah, playing really well, getting more shots than McKendree, but important right now that McKendree doesn't get a shot off the draw.
And they also have to win the draw, and they're unable to do that. So Illinois, who was able to win over 70% of faceoffs last night, continuing that great stretch at the dot.
You're thinking McKendree has been able to put pressure the last few minutes on Jake Barnard. So for McKendree to have a chance, an offensive zone draw, don't want them to get any scores right now.
As the puck is dumped back in for Barnhart. They'll decide to hold it, so maybe a goaltender like Ross or David Heflin would play that puck. Just a little kinks in a goaltender's game where it's all about communication as Mike Turek talks to him. Personal preference, but when you're a team like the Illini who wins draws, sometimes just cover the puck instead of risking an offensive or defensive zone turnover.
Yeah, you don't want those turnovers just to allow McKendree to get the puck right in front of the net and be able to put it in the back.
Brennan on the draw to the left of Barnhart against Cruikshank. And Cruikshank wins it back for Nolan. The Illini have practiced all these kick-out plays, especially throughout this week, as they utilize the 3rd forward in Richter. What a great move by Joe Nolan to catch the puck on the fly. And he'll deke around a man of the corner. Nolan had Stube out in front, and Best covers that one up. Both ends of the ice, Joe Nolan. He is just baffling us up here in the booth.
You see this line center, the second line center, Eric Cruikshank, skating up the middle of the ice. Joe Nolan looks like a left winger, just skating up the near side faster than Eric Cruikshank, going straight to the net every single time.
He reminds us a lot of Tyler Opilka, but they both play well in their own respects. They're going to be dynamite to the Illini moving forward. But right now, they're tied 1-1 with McKendree. This is Cruikshank. Skating through the middle, was knocked down. He'll get the puck back off of a McKendree skate. Here's Cruikshank moving in. He fires one just outside of the cage as Best cut off all the angles. Out here, Stube behind his back for Cruikshank. They play pitch and catch out in front. And Stube for Cruikshank at the left point. Here comes Nolan off his skate as he was unable to handle the rocket pass from number 15.
Yeah, he had Nolan open, but one deflection was able to make it too tough for Nolan to hold on to.
Nolan has the puck up for Stube. 2-line pass. Grant attempts to shake number 26, Watt. 7:18 left in the first period. Nolan on the forecheck. But now you see Grant Stube assuming that left point. And what does he do? Lofts it back in, gives Nolan a chance to get off the ice.
Yeah, great recognition by Stube that Nolan's playing that left winger spot right now, so Stube has to step back and play as defenseman.
Moskalik cancels out a man to the near side. You hear that collision. As here comes Stephen Quinn. Quinn out in front for Moskalik. The puck is ricocheted out to the neutral area. Opilka doubles back and has Caprio on his left and hits him. 1-1 our score. Thanks for early goals from Joe Nolan and Connor Brennan. A man goes down for McKendree. No whistle, as that was, of course, Watt being taken down by Homer, and he lost his lumber and gets it back. Homer broke his stick last night. Maybe just tape it to his gloves. You don't want it to dislodge any further. He's checked to the end boards. He's able to dish the puck off for Caprio. Cherry picking at the opposite blue line was Quinn. Opilka interchanges with him. 6:17 left in the first period. Opilka now for Moskalik. Moskalik battling. Taken away beautifully by Shane Pluto, the freshman out of Calgary, Alberta. Soccered by Opilka, and Holmgren's going to play it off the boards to himself and gain the McKendree line. He's late on his shift. Here's Quinn. Down low for Moskluk. Holmgren goes off. Bobby Ernsting comes on. And fresh off the bench is Bobby. As a pass came between him and Quinn. Now on the stick of Alec Nichols and Caprio. Ernsting gets it back. Bit of cautious play from both these teams.
Yeah, the Illini, though, the last minute or so, it's been a little more up-tempo, and that's going to favor McKendree, the Bearcats, just because they might be able to capitalize on a turnover by the Illini, get something going the other way. The Illini want to play it slower, get shots in, then try to break down best.
14:22 into the first period. We get a whistle, a face-off to the right of Jake Barnhart. Bobby Ernsting on the draw. And he wins it again. But it's not just necessarily about the win here, as you see the ensuing 50-50 battle. Illinois is able to come out unscathed. Here's McGing gaining the line. 2 men around him. Nordlander shadowing him. Look at McGing, and they have 2 men pressuring him. And what does he do? He puts it to the weak side for Mark Condotti. Now on the end boards, it's Nordlander with counter. Instead, coming away with it is number 11, Lazar Lester, who had a 6-game point streak snapped in last night's defeat against Illinois 4-2. Dominic Nass, who had a goal in last night's game, centered the puck, and it's intercepted by counter. Maybe a 3-on-2 rush for Illinois. The second line forward grouping out. Here's McGing. What a dangle to the inside on his back, and he fires at a save made by Best. Almost a replication of last night as we have a fracas. McGing is going to get tossed. And 15:08 into the first period, we saw one affair where Justin Reese was hit with a glove to the noggin. Now we see in the Saturday night's game, number 13 takes a tumble.
Yeah, James McGing, after he took that shot, he ran in to a McKendree defender that was standing in front of the crease. And we'll see what's about to happen, but it was basically just it looked like an accidental contact, and then it kind of it became more.
As McGing is going to sit, Ty Watt is going to sit. I believe it's going to be coincidental minors. I'm assuming for roughing. As Joey Rittendale wants a word, as does Lesterick. But right after the whistle, the referee's setting a standard here.
And James McGing's defense, he ended up on the bottom of that because he didn't throw a first punch of anything. But yeah, so coincidental minors for both of them. And the Illini, James McGing was having a really nice shift right there, so now to be able to take him out, that kind of hurts his momentum.
4-on-4 hockey for the next 2 minutes. It's Nolan deking around a man and dropping Brennan. But the inadvertent pass from Nolan, hoping for Cruikshank, was knocked away. Now into the Illini zone for Rittendale. Rittendale drops it for Cruikshank. And Richter to take the puck. From his knees, gets the puck away for Rittendale. Rittendale winds and fires, and that one just went high of the glove. Now at the left point, it's Cruikshank for Nolan. 1:28 left in the coincidental minors to Watt, as well as McGing. 4:14 left in the first, tied at 1. Virgiano Simonetta with you, Stephen Cohn alongside. Now here's Nolan for Cruikshank at the outside of the cage. Cruikshank, the second wind, if you will, gets the puck along the far side half boards with McKendree late on their own shift. It's Brennan. Brennan right circle, playing it in front, tapping one through was Wilson. Rittendale out for Nolan. Nolan with a man on his back. Here's Richter. The Illini own zone. He's just going to gain the red line and shoot one in. Best makes the stop and tosses one to Nordlander. 3:38 left in the first period. Nordlander, heavy strides on the man from Switzerland. Going back to the right point, Lester fires, and that's off the left knee of Ernsting. Didn't phase him whatsoever, and the Illini counter on a 3-on-2. Ernsting gained the line. Oh, and a move around Nordlander, and again trying to be fancy with it, and swiping at it with his stick. Is Ernsting, he's got it, and he's tried to spin one low for counter, but it's tough to read whenever Bobby Ernsting has the puck.
But all of that after a puck to a knee and a grimace just 5 seconds ago.
Two-way toughness. That's Bobby Ernsting in a nutshell, as well as his own skill up front. He stays out there, brings the puck back for Caprio. 8 seconds left on the 4-on-4 play. Here's Ernsting. Number 22, that's Pluto, shadowing him. Here's Caprio. Nobody there as Ernsting gassed after that shift. Won't be icing. As number 8, that's Nichols, gets it over. Quinn trying to force a turnover. Now to the near side for Pluto. Pluto out to center ice, intercepted by Moskalik over the red line. Playing one off the boards and dumping one in. McKendree has done a great job of shutting down the Illini, especially when they're trying to do that two-man forecheck. Now out to the middle area is Golovko. Golovko, the Kyiv, Ukraine native. Now for Pluto, he knocked down a pass. Golovko's got it on his stick. Now here's Quinn, soccering one up for Moskalik. 2-on-2 the other way. 2:10 left in the first period. Moskalik shoots one on, patted away by Best. Along the end board, Stephen Quinn tied up with a man. Now it's Golovko. Shackton Kendati on the pinch. Mark Kendati stripped by Pluto. But another example of countering the attack of the Bearcats and not allowing them to get an odd man rush the other way. Almost a knee-on-knee hit there from Homer, and he dekes around a man. And a Bearcat is right at that center position. Knocked down, and of course it's number 22, Pluto, who had collided with Holmgren. I didn't like the way that he stopped on that dime, perhaps stuck out a knee. We'll have to look back on the replay here. But of course, no penalty was called.
Yeah, Holmgren popped right back up and went chased after the puck. And this third line just knows how to find the puck. Stephen Quinn gets caught up in some battles behind the net sometimes. But guys like Chance Homer and Stephen Quinn, they know where the puck is at all times.
We'll stay 5-on-5 as the captain, Ty Watt, didn't like that hit from Holmgren. 18-15 into the first period. So Nolan got the scoring started, and then it was Brennan. But since then, not a lot of high-scoring chances for both teams.
No, all four lines playing pretty balanced by the line right now. That top six getting a lot of shots on Best.
Kendati out to the middle. Now the right point, Mike Turek. He winds and fires. That one just went wide. Turek had only one goal last season. Trying to add more offense to his game, and that just missed the near post. 1:25 left in the first period. Kendati fakes a slap shot, defers over to the right point for Turek, utilizing the wide ice here. Out in front for Novosel. His stick was tied up. Now here comes Jason Belke. Up for Novosel. Kendati hacked at by Travis Bob, who's hungry to lay a hit on as Turek dodges him. Now out to center. It'll be Belke, the senior forward, on his backhand. Spinning one back. Nice play from Novosel to jump the route. As here's Justin Reese. And he'll shovel one in. 53 seconds left in the first period.
Illinois definitely winning the battle neutral zone this period.
And now forcing a turnover is Novosel, but he just overskated that. Moving the other way is Nass. Watch out for Dom Nass. Dropping it for Lestberg. He fires one through the legs of Rittenell, but he got enough on it to steer it aside. Now behind the net, Nolan and Nass. Nass has the puck as a man at the right point. It's Nordlander. Nordlander shooting one. Deflected on, and that one just missed over the end boards. With 25 left to go in the first period. Dom Nass with the puck possession. Now for Nichols, and this could be a breakaway at the other end for Drew Richter. He moves on in through the circles. Richter in. Score! Forehand, backhand through the 5-hole. Drew Richter gives Illinois the lead. 15.8 left in the first.
Did you ask me in the pregame show, what is Drew Richter add to this top line with Grant Stubbe and Eric Cruikshank bringing a rookie on that line? Well, I said he compliments them. He has the same skill set as someone like James McKendree or Bobby Ernsting. Just the ability he has to get to the net and do that all by himself. He didn't need the help of the rest of his line.
Fourth goal of the year for Drew Richter. He gives Illinois a 2-1 lead.
Now, we saw all weekend that the Illini were targeting Best's glove side, and that's what Best thought was coming his way when Richter brought it backhand. But he exposed the 5-hole, and Richter took immediate advantage of it for a great goal for the Illini to give him 2-1 lead.
And there was not a lot of room. So Richter's skill there to just barely put enough on it to open up the legs going forehand to backhand. That's a move that we see in practice all the time, but to do it in a game is something special.
Yeah, Best was playing a few steps up too, so Best was trying to take away all his options, and Richter just great stick handling.
As that does it for the first period. Richter had his point streak snapped at 4 games last night, but he gets on the board with 15.8 seconds left in the first period. Illinois with a 2-1 lead over the McKendree University Bearcats, as we're going to get an interview down at ice level with Evan Sabo, who got his first career point as a member of the Illini, primary assisting on Joe Nolan's goal.
Evan, you picked up your first point of the year with that great assist to Joe Nolan. How did it feel?
Oh, it's a relief. Obviously, I've been working hard to get points, and, obviously they'll come, but to get my first point like that, it's really relieving.
Take me through that play, because sometimes players are going to keep that puck and shoot it, but you made a beautiful pass to set that goal up perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great play by Nolan to jump in the play, though, because I think he got the pass from Reese, and then gave me a quick one-touch, and then, I mean, I just noticed the lane and gave it right back to him.
All right, thanks, Evan. Good luck the rest of the game. Christian and Steven, back to you guys up in the treehouse.
Thank you, Eric Fisher. Thank you, Evan Sabo, the former ISU Redbird. Played in so many games for the Illini club, and he was not an everyday player for the Redbirds, getting some opportunities and capitalizing on them. What a great pass there from Sabo to Nolan to connect in the Illini's first goal.
Yeah, I don't know. We thought someone like Evan Sabo was going to be an everyday player for this Illini team this year. Really has earned that spot on that fourth line, and just great passing by him to the two-way defenseman, Joe Nolan.
And Jack Graham out of the lineup tonight, giving Mike Turek a chance to showcase his skills on the third pairing with Mark Condotti. But it all comes back to that topic of depth on this Illini club. You got Justin Reese, Neil Novosel, Moskaluk, first-year guys in terms of their Division I play. They don't look out of place.
Yeah, who needs someone like Eric Cruikshank, Grant Stuver, James McGing, or Chance Oman, or Bobby Ernst? They got all these. Yeah, Luke Ford. They got all these rookies on the team. They're doing a great job so far tonight. 2 goals by 2 of them.
And Bobby Ernst continues his great puck possession, and James McGing too. But as McGing crashed into Andrew Best earlier in this first period, he ends up receiving a penalty, but luckily Watt was able to as well. But do you like that manner of attack, to crash the net, even if it may bend the rule book just a little bit? Because McGing's always that type of guy that's never going to give an inch to the opposition.
I think the Illini have played really disciplined the first month of this season, but they've got to play a little more physical once you get into that CSCHL play. Level of intensity gets a little higher, and the Illini are going to step up a little, so I like seeing that now by someone like James McGing, one of those instigators on this club.
And the beautiful thing about tonight's broadcast is we'll hear your voice on play-by-play for the Saturday night second period switcheroo. If Drew Curtis is listening in or watching, you'll surely appreciate that alliteration. And we'll see Eric Fisher up top, and I will be down at ice level as we turn to the play at the middle area of the ice for the shoot the puck. So a new event this year. We saw it a couple years ago, but it's back. The Ice Girls are here. Let's see how the little kids do.
Well, I want to hear you announce this. This is going to be fun. Oh, that one just wide the left.
I'll give you some early play-by-play right now.
Okay, we got a kid in blue shorts, a gray sweater with an orange stripe across the chest. That orange stripe extends onto his arms. He's a right. He's going to take it. It's just going to go wide right. The guy in the Illinois jacket with the orange hat just stops it. Second chance, doesn't even get to the low slot.
Oh, here we go. Look at this one, though. Just off the outside. But
hey, keep going until someone makes it?
No, they do each. You think you can do this?
Yeah, I'm talented.
All right, we're going to have to put you out here next game. Absolutely. Here we go. Look at that slap shot. Oh, hey, it's a practice.
Take a whiff.
It's a practice swing. Just wide of the far post. It's got a regular Shea Weber right here moving on. It's good! How about that? You think you could do that?
Is that going to make the highlights in the postgame?
You bet.
Oh.
And now he's got another one. Oh! The crowd's into it.
It's all about the fan experience here at the Big Bend.
What about you, Eric? You think you can do that?
I don't know. I've never played hockey before. But I was more disappointed. I didn't see a celly out of him. Beautiful shot like that, and we don't see any emotion out of him.
I would have liked to see a thumbs up.
The GIF. Just a Jonathan Tays, just a little fist pump in the air.
Just the thumb. No, not just the thumb.
You guys got it all wrong. He does that every single day. He knows nothing. Business as usual. I don't need to be flashy. What a great goal.
Now, this is more difficult than the typical one because this rink is so long that the blue line to the goal post, that's going to be far. That's farther than usual.
Especially at that, those kids, what, about 8 or 9 years old? Yeah. Able to make that shot. We see the Chicago Blackhawks having a similar shoot-the-puck contest.
They must come to Nick Fabrini's CUYHA, the Champaign-Urbana Youth Hockey Association clinics.
Who do not sponsor us.
Sadly.
Just told them about us.
They're lost.
Hi, everybody. Cristiano Simonetta, Stephen Cohn alongside Eric Fisher. No commercial breaks. It's like a telethon.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Do I really have to explain that?
We've been over this.
We've been over this.
We did? I had no idea.
All right.
I've been missing out. This is only my fourth game.
Regardless,
Steven's done for the night.
first period intermission report. We've got 14 minutes of it. Eric, you were down at ice level. What did you notice from Nick Fabrini after McKendree scored that goal? Was he calm? Was he confident? Or was he really reaming the boys out after that tying goal from Brennan?
Fabrini just was wanting his players to play more aggressive defensively, especially on the penalty kill. He was telling his players to come up more, which is surprising because the Illini are usually a group that usually like to pack it in when they're on their special teams. So when Fabrini's preaching them to be more aggressive on a penalty kill, that's when you know that he's in attack mode and he wants the Illini to really try to put this game away immediately.
Only a 2-1 lead for Illinois thanks to a late goal from Drew Richter. What did you see? Because there was a mix-up at the top of the left point. Did you think that Richter was going to pull away? We know he's got great speed.
Oh, yeah. Fabrini mentioning that Richter may be one of the fastest players on the team. And I saw him starting to leak out a little bit, but I wasn't really sure where the puck was going to bounce. But he was in perfect position, and he got a puck great on the stick, and he made a beautiful, beautiful fast break goal right there.
And if you want to follow our Facebook and Twitter accounts, Twitter at Illini Hockey, where we have in-game updates where you can find Joe Nolan's tally. You can find Connor Brennan's update, as well as Drew Richter's late in the first period. We've got a hefty intermission here, boys. The Chicago Cubs are playing, but
I'm very confused still. I don't know why we're doing
Let's bore the fans with some details. We don't have a board op tonight. So
I don't... Great.
This is why he's...
I'm done.
So he missed last night's game.
I missed the last Friday's game.
Has no idea what's going on.
No idea.
Very well prepared.
Not even here. I'm just...
Very well prepared, and he's doing play-by-play next period.
Good luck with that. As we look at the first period stats, McKendree with 8 shots on goal, as well as Illinois. A +2 rating for Joey Rittendale, and he almost had that slap shot goal late in the frame. He's not a guy that's going to blow you out of the water with his offensive play, but setting the standard, stable as anybody on this Illini back end, leading by example.
Yeah, Joey Rittendale found the back of the net a few times last season. He's a guy with some offensive ability, but where he really does great is his leadership abilities. That's why he's the captain of this team. He's able to take over and respond in certain situations. So he's not much of a scorer, but yeah, he gets his chances. He does score.
Yeah, and Joey's one of those players that doesn't really get too involved offensively, but when you do it, you're just like, where'd that come from? You have that kind of slap shot, but you're always playing so far back defensively. And he mentioned earlier this year to us that he's trying to get more involved offensively, and that Joe Nolan has somewhat inspired him to do that, as Nolan's a great offensive defenseman, as we clearly saw here tonight as he picked up a goal. But when Joey has that great slap shot, and when he took it, just barely missed that glove side of best, and on the bench you had players going, okay, Joey, like we see you. So they're always going to want to see him shoot the puck more often.
Yeah, I think seeing a freshman, a rookie like Joe Nolan just step in and make such an impact on both sides of the ice has really led everyone else to try to strive to be more, because if Joe Nolan can come in and play so great both ways, then why can't anyone else in his team play great defense or score a lot or just make an impact on offense and defense? So I think he's really pushed everyone else to be a better player.
Oh, exactly, and that just shows you how tightly knit this group is. There isn't no senioritis or anything coming out of this group. They all see each other as equals, and they're all just out there playing for each other, and that's what makes a great team, and that's what allows teams to make very deep playoff runs. Just having such great chemistry with each other and just playing for the guy right next to you.
Well, they better not have senioritis. This is their last chance for a lot of these guys. They've had a pretty disappointing 3 years towards the end of the seasons and just not being able to finish what they started. They start every year pretty well. Last season, some hiccups early on with some injuries. But they want to be playing into late February, early March. And right now, I feel like, I'm not trying to jinx anything, but 2-1 after a period, they're playing well. They're getting shots on Jake Best. This should be the start of an 8-0 season.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of buzz from these players, too, about playing very deep into the postseason. And the way they're playing right now, I don't see why they couldn't be, but they're going to have their first real test against a CSCHL opponent next week against Lindenwood, which is going to be a potential very big wake-up call for the Illini. It's going to really test them early on to just see how good this team could potentially be.
Cristiano Simonetta, Stephen Cohn alongside Eric Fisher. The Cubs, nothing in the bottom of the second, but I think that we have a bigger crowd here, and of course it's very misleading because we don't see this near side, the fans do. This is completely packed, and it has been the past 2 nights. And look at the other side, a lot more fan involvement. We got the Ice Girls out here. It's become one of the staples of this Illini hockey tradition here. We got a Zamboni driver with a hockey jersey on and a name on the back. It's an interesting atmosphere that's very intimidating to go into. McKendree's down 2-1 after 20. What's their mental state right now?
McKendree's mental state?
Yes.
I think right now at McKendree, they played very well in that first period. They basically played even with the Illini, and if not for a breakaway goal by Drew Richter, this is a 1-1 game entering 2, and that's a better situation than yesterday when they started off 2-0, and they gave up 3 unanswered goals. So McKendree, same score differential than last night after a period, but seemingly playing a better game because it was a more complete period, not just 5 good minutes where they caught the Illini off guard.
Yeah, what we're seeing on the McKendree Beer/Bob.
Yeah,
slash
beer
Bearcat.
/Bob/Bear
tonight.
Oh, wait, he doesn't understand that.
Yeah.
He wasn't here.
No, he doesn't. He never shows up, but not the point.
Wow!
But no, the Bearcats are just matching the Illini's physicality, which is always an important factor when you're on the road, especially in a tough home environment like out here in the Big Pond. And they're really just matching their physicality along the boards, the neutral zone, and everything. We're even seeing they're matching it in the penalty box as well, as we saw 2 rough reminders, and we saw also them going to the box for just simple plays like slashing or a hold. And so it's the little things that like that really keep you in a tough road test like here tonight.
Yeah, Eric, you mentioned the crowd being loud into the game. Drew Richter's breakaway, I think that was one of the loudest moments I've heard at the Big Pond this year. The harassing Illini student section hasn't been as big yet this season as we've seen in the past, where they're harassing the other team's bench. But I think just overall, the entire fan experience, they are impacting his team, just trying to pump them up, and it's working.
And that can explain the great record at home. They only lost a handful of times here in this building in regulation. And a couple of those losses were only by a goal or 2, so they rarely get blown out in this building. And now this year, they're undefeated.
Well, I'm kind of afraid of going to overtime and see what 3-on-3 high. We haven't seen that yet this year. It's coming. It is coming.
You know it's coming. The first home game against CSCHL opponents, Iowa State, November 3rd, the Friday.
Mark it on your calendars.
Or it could come tonight. Am I really far-fetched to say that McKendree could tie this game up and we'll be tied after regulation?
No, I think McKendree, if they keep trying to get those deflections on Jake Barnhart, we're going to see Jake Barnhart until it starts going bad or he just loses confidence, because Nick Fabrini is giving him the chance to play himself in a game and see what he can bring. And I don't think we're going to see Ross Lippick unless there are special circumstances tonight.
And the Bearcats certainly have the players to really get back in this game too. Levi Armstrong, who we saw him have a big impact early on in the game last night, he could come out and he could snipe a shot from about anywhere. And then you have Nas also, who's a great addition on that line, who really is an impact player. And so the Bearcats have the players to do it. They have the goaltender to keep them in the game, as we saw last night, as the Illini dominated the second and third periods, but they only got one goal through both of those 2. So they certainly are not out of this game whatsoever. And imagine them coming into this second period really looking to make a difference and really get off to a hot start.
The Ohio Bobcats, one of the top teams in the country, who mentioned their score as the game got started. They are 4-0 after a period. It's now 6-0 against number 14 UNLV with 5 minutes left in the second period. So the Illini didn't get off to a super quick start. They got off to a better start than yesterday because they're up 2-1 after a period. But Ohio just laying it on right now, one of these top teams in the country.
Yeah, and they're number 3 in the nation. So Illinois hasn't been in the top 10 in the past 3 or 4 years. They're right on the brink at number 12. And if they keep it up with these wins against McKendree, assuming they win tonight, but Lindenwood's going to be such a tough opponent because you look at them, they're 4th.
Yeah, no, you have three right in a row. You have Lindenwood at 4, Ohio at 5, and Iowa State at 6, and they're all in the Illini's conference. So it's really going to test the Illini this year to really show what they're made of and whether or not they're going to have the ability to make a deep postseason run.
Yeah, how about more CSCHL rivals? Lindenwood and Iowa State getting conference play started this weekend. Shots are 6-6 after a period, and the score is 0-0. So we talk about the physical play we're going to see in the next few months. Each team only has 6 shots after a period of play.
But Lindenwood, they're known for their defense. They're known for their physicality. And when those 2 teams meet, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Well, absolutely. The physicality is going to be high. The There's going to be a lot of hype coming into the game from both teams, and it's just going to be an explosion once both teams are on the ice. It's going to be an extremely physical game with probably a lot of highlight plays for both teams.
But then Robert Morris at number 9, do you see them being a threat? They knocked Illinois out of the playoffs last year. I
don't want to talk about that game anymore. That was a slow start. James McGing wasn't there.
You know what I want to talk about that game, though? First,
the comeback.
Also, I was going to go more selfish.
The comeback, but still lost.
Yeah.
The first broadcast.
First road broadcast.
Yeah, with this crew. So it was a great moment for us. Illinois down 3-0. They come back, but eventually lost that game by 1 goal, which was a heck of a game.
Historic road trip between Steven and I up there.
Yeah, went to a Wendy's. Oh, that was a good time in your car. But yeah, so CSCHL teams, there's a bunch of them. There's 5 of them actually. They're all great basically. The Illini, the lowest ranked in them all, and the Illini are 12th in the country. So if you want to know what the best conference for the highest level of club hockey is, it's clearly the CSCHL. The Illini haven't won that regular season championship since 2013. They have won that playoff championship since 2008. So what do the Illini have to do the next 2 periods tonight to try to make an impact, to try to prepare themselves for 2 weeks from now against Lindenwood?
I think one of the big issues for the Illini these last couple of weeks has just been playing clean hockey in their own zone. They've been making costly turnovers in the neutral zone and in the defensive zone that's allowed other teams to have great scoring opportunities. So if they're really going to be able to compete against these tough teams, as we just mentioned, then they're going to have to really play clean, efficient hockey, and they're going to have to limit the amount of turnovers they have.
Yeah, they just got to keep doing what's right, and what that's been has been two-way play, especially from a guy like Bobby Ernsting. Goaltending there from Jake Barnhart, he had to make a number of saves, so just keep the boat rowing along, and I think Illinois is going to be fine here as we just begin to wrap up this first period intermission report without any commercials.
I know this is a historic landmark for us, going the full 15 minutes, and it's been a real show.
I'm exhausted. This is a lot of talking tonight.
Oh, get used to it. You're about to go play-by-play for us here in the second.
Oh my! I think Cristiano's going to fill in a little bit, just like last week.
I mean, we say it's a Saturday switcheroo, but I mean, Steve and I just kind of throw mutiny and hey, you gotta get in the box, Cristiano. We kind of had enough of you tonight.
Hey, Cristiano actually loves being in the box. I don't know. I think he enjoys it more down there. We're not going to kick him out here because he's pretty good at what he does up here. But he loves being down there, experiencing the game from a different view. I did it last year. You, Mackenzie, and a few other people are going to do it this year. So what's the biggest difference, since we have 2 more minutes, what's the biggest difference between the box and the treehouse?
What a question, boys. Holy cow.
Oh, we're at that point in the intermission.
No, it's just like you feel more involved in the game, and I'm kind of sad that they put up the boards right in front of the box because I felt I could stick my head out, and I could feel the wind go by, and it was a great feeling. And as someone that never played hockey, that's kind of cool to be a part of. But I mean, I understand why they got the boards up because, I mean, you kind of don't want to get hit by a puck like you did a couple times last year.
Yeah, what you're looking at is the new Illinois Ice Arena. Not really new. It's pretty old. It's 90 years old. But
improved Illinois Ice Arena.
That's the way. Put a $1.5 million in renovations this past summer. It looks beautiful. The boards are nice. There's no advertisements yet on the boards, but they're coming apparently. We got a nice new scoreboard. 1:13 to go until the second period gets underway. Alongside Eric Fisher, I'm Stephen Cohn. This is the second period. Saturday night switcheroo. Cristiano Simonetta will join us in a moment down in the Illinois penalty box. The Illini had 2 goals in the first period. 1 from Joe Nolan, 1 on a breakaway from Drew Richter, and 1 goal from McKendree by Brennan that tied this game to 1. But Richter's goal late in the first gave the Illini the 1-goal lead. Who do you think scores, or do the Illini score in the second period?
I think James McGing is going to score in the second period. He had a great opportunity in that first period with a beautiful backhand after a series of beautiful stick handling maneuvers. And so I feel like he seems like he could get wherever he wants on the ice. So I think the real thing that's going to come down to is how controlled is he playing, because there are times where he can get a little loose with the puck and it can lead to turnovers and great scoring opportunities for the Bearcats.
Andrew Best, the goalie for McKendree, went 17-2 1 year ago with 2.07 goals allowed against, and we will see what is about to happen. Can the Illini pour it on and give him already his 3rd loss of the season in less than half the starts from last year?
Yeah, we'll see. He's been a great goaltender for the Bearcats so far.
Period gets underway. Bobby Ernst knocks into McKendree into off in the zone. McKendree goes to neutral ice. Physical play, counter, tries to deke it in. Now McKendree, 1940, only up 2-1. The top line out there for the Lions tonight of McGing, counter, and Ernsting. McKendree at the right point. Joel Nolan, who had a goal in the first period, throws it away, and in the neutral zone he goes. Gets the pass to the left point, goes to the corner, and he's going to look for a Deacon David counter towards the goal. Andrew Best is going to glove it. 19:15 to go. Offensive zone draw for the Illini.
Yeah, we're seeing Nolan being involved as always for this Illini team, which is great to see how your defenseman leading a rush like that. And he had a great idea with that centering pass, but it just wasn't quite there yet. His counter wasn't quite in the center of the ice, so it would make a play on the puck.
Illini doing a great job on the draws tonight. Won basically, essentially all of them in that first period. Eric Cruikshank on this one. Illini may go for a shot on Best off the draw, go for that 2-goal lead.
That's how we saw Jack Graham get a goal last night.
We're going to lose that one, but Eric Cruikshank knocks it, stays in Illinois zone. Cruikshank battling to the puck. And the Illini will win it. Drew Richter at the left circle. In the corner, the half-boards. Stolen away by Pluto. Stuve behind that, takes it back, and goes into the corner. And McKendree Bearcat falls down. We're going to have a penalty on the Illini, it looks like, maybe a tripping.
Yeah, it looks like one of the McKendree defensemen got knocked down in that play, and it looks like it was going to be a tripping call. So it looks like Andrew Ricker is going to be heading to the box. And we're going to see this Illini penalty kill, which gave up a goal last night. It was a pretty clean goal out of McKendree. So it'll be interesting to see how locked down they could be on this special team's disadvantage.
Yeah, Illini did a nice job in the first period when James McGing went for the Twinsdale Miners. Illini also had another penalty in that first period. Shot in front of the goal is blocked away. Levi Armstrong shot, that is. And Reeder gets it at the left circle. Back to Reeder at the left point. To Armstrong. Who had 4 goals earlier this month. At the right circle, calling for it is Brian Reeder. That shot's deflected away. Wide right to Jake Barnhart. The Bearcats continue. 18:25 now to go in the second period. At the half boards, out to number 11, Lazar. Lester. And Joey Caprio going to try to get it away. 40 seconds now. The McKendree's had the puck in their zone on this PK. At the corner goes the Reeder. Reeder deflected away by Chance Holmgren. Halfway down with this PK for the Illini. Tyler Opilga tries to pick that one up, throw it away. But it's going to be a chance for Reeder at the high slot. Blocked away by Tyler Opilga and Joey Caprio, the 2 defensemen out there right now for the Illini. And Tyler Opilga fights for it in the corner. He's going to try to come away with it. Tries to throw it across the boards a little bit, but another chance for McKendree. Another deflected shot. 40 seconds left. The Illini doing a nice job in this PK.
And that could have been a goal too, as Moskowitz just barely got his stick on it, and they had the net wide open on Barnhart's blocker side.
On near side, the Illini, it looks like Chance Holmgren able to clear that one. Now they're going to have a chance with 25 seconds left. That's John Moskowitz in the corner at the half boards. He fights a defender. It's going to go in neutral zone as the Illini look to kill out this PK. Brendan Nail to Joe Nolan. You're going to say his name for the next 4 years, you will.
Oh, yeah.
5 seconds left, and Joey Randall's going to throw us one down the ice. Evan Sable's going to chase after and try to get it from Andrew Best, who has to go back in the goal where even strength.
Chance Holmgren had a great shift on that penalty kill. He blocked several shots, and he also made some great stick deflections to really disrupt the Bearcats' power play.
Davies tries to bring that one past the blue line, but it's taken away by the Illini. Going the other way now is number 14. And try to get, it's going to be a huge takedown by Tyler Wilson on Justin Reese after the whistle, and we'll see if that becomes a penalty.
That was up high, too. Wilson got his arm right around Reese's head and then throws him down to the ice, so we'll see if the Bearcats get penalized for that. It's not looking like it. It's looking like Reese is heading to the box. Very interesting.
That's Justin Reese. We'll see what that is. So those Coastal Miners. Right now, it looks like it's just going to be Reese, so it's going to be that Illini. About 15 seconds after getting off the last PK, going into another. Joey Randall waiting to talk to the referee to find out what's up.
Yeah, very interesting, because we saw the Illini get penalized for retaliation yesterday and today, and as we see right there, the refs are giving coincidental minors.
Alex Simasengo is going to be going, so coincidental minors for his second time tonight.
Yeah, Justin Reese, who was on the recipient end of a punch to the face last night, that went uncalled. Then he gets the gate for slashing here. So coincidental minors, but head coach Nick Rubini's waiting for an explanation. I think every fan in the arena is as well.
Yeah, we'll see 4-on-4 hockey again tonight. It's going to start off with Bobby Ernsting and James McGing. So if you're going to have two forwards, those are the two you want out there right now. So
yeah, and we saw the Illini pick up a goal last night in 4-on-4 play, which is where they really had to exceed, because they know this wide ice better than no one. And having that little amount of players with these playmakers that the Illini have is a huge advantage.
One of the few losses on the draw for the Illini tonight. Bobby Ernsting loses it. And McKendree going through neutral zone. Jacob Young skates to the near side corner. And tries to take a shot, but it's deflected away by Bobby Ernsting. Another shot by Young. Jake Barrett's going to fall, and it somehow gets to the corner with Bobby Ernsting. And the Illini escape a critical situation.
Oh, Barnhart really bailed him out there, as the Bearcats had a wide open shot in front of the net, but Barnhart shut the door multiple times, having great vision of the puck to make those two saves.
Yeah, probably Barnhart's best save so far tonight. The Illini going the other way. Bobby Ernsting far side. Joe Nolan's skating towards that, calling for the puck, but it's going to be sticked away by Ryan Reeder. It's going to be cleared all the other way. 15:40 to go now. 1:12 left on the coincidental minors.
It's little plays like that by Reeder that negate any chances of an offensive opportunity. And look out for that to happen the rest of the night.
Joe Nolan takes it through neutral zone, drops it off for James McGing, who skates to the high slot. McGing, one deep, another. Passes off to Joe Nolan.
McGing loves to do that backhand toe drag.
Nolan looks for McGing. McGing is blocked away. McGing not happy with himself after that. It was a good chance in the high slot. Joe Nolan is trying to be sticked away by Lazaro Sterk, who's going to be going the other way. And Mike Turk going to step in, kick it away, and clear it to the neutral zone.
Yeah, we saw Nolan get a little too risky with the puck there, but luckily, we have a scoring opportunity here, though.
Yeah, Dominic Nass, who scored one of the two goals for the Bearcats last night, had a chance. The Lions doing a great job in the back check.
Oh, absolutely. And little plays like that, we saw Reeder on the other end do it as well.
Breakout opportunity by that line. James McGing to Mark Kendai. A shot on Andrew Best. James McGing with the second chance, and he's going to be thrown down. We'll see if that becomes a delayed penalty.
It doesn't look like it. Ref hasn't signaled anything.
And James McGing was looking at the ref the entire time, not able to get to the puck. Battle neutral ice. And it's going to be coming away as a Drew Richter. Late goal in the first period. 2-1 Illini. That's the difference right now in the game.
It's really tough to get a read on these refs here tonight. They're giving coincidental minors, but then they're seeing plays like very aggressive plays like that also not get called.
Illini got to get used to the aggressive play. This is the last D2 game they'll play here early on in the season before CSCHL play gets going. Under 14 minutes to go now. Alongside Eric Fisher, I'm Steve Gone. The Illini on the far side. That one's going to be passed horizontally. And Mark Gandati going to lead the breakout for the Illini. Behind that, pass over to Mike Turek, the third pairing defenseman out right now. Also, the second line tonight for the Illini, Eric Cruikshank, Drew Richter, Brent Stube. That looks like a huge slash right there by Eric Cruikshank. Couldn't see it was the blind side on the near side.
That also not getting called.
Eric Cruikshank with a huge hit in the boards on McKendree forward. And it's becoming really physical now, a little chippy here with over 13 minutes to go in the second.
Yeah, and if you're in Illini, that's not what you want to see.
A great stretch pass to Grant Stube. Digs for one defender in the left circle and shoots on Andrew Best. It's going to be stopped. And after the play, it's Drew Richter who falls over Best.
Yeah, and the Illini are getting chippy out here tonight, and they have a huge game coming next week against Lindenwood. So you don't want to see anyone get tossed or any potential suspensions because of silly plays like that.
And despite this 2-1 lead, guys, Nick Ferrini's still pressing. Energy, energy, energy. They need to get quick outs. They need to get shots on goal, as we see Stuve with that stutter step move. And Illinois' offense with a chance to strike there.
Illini win the draw. Homer to Opilka over to Caprio. Now it's Homer again to the right point, which is Opilka. That one thrown across the boards. Behind that now, Stephen Quinn. Off to Joey Caprio with the left point, keeps it in. Thrown across the boards again. Shantomer going to win the race, but unable to secure the puck. And McKendree attempting to clear it. Now, why not going to save it? Stephen Quinn. Playing the boards right now, and now it's going to be John Moskalik skating around the net. Shantomer gets up. Shot in front. Centering pass. It's going to be blocked away again. The Illini now. Pretty long offensive zone opportunity. No shots on goal, though.
Still, this has been a great shift for this third line. As we saw them dominate last night, it looks like it's carrying on over to today's game as we have a penalty here. John Moskalik down on the ice.
And we'll see this if this might be. Looks like it's going to send. No idea.
Well, looks like Pluto's heading to the boards, or heading to the penalty box, and Stephen Quinn gave him a little bump before he went on. So it's clear that the atmosphere is starting to get a little chippy out here, and it's going to be very intriguing to see how it carries on the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's going to be the second power play opportunity for the Illini tonight. Not able to capitalize on the first one, but this line that I mentioned, I think they're going to score tonight. A lot of shots. They really pressured Andrew Best on that first shift on the power play in the first period. So we'll see if that carries over now to his second. Tyler Opilka at the point. Passed over to Bobby Ernsting. Ernsting, some getting back there. Ernsting, a lot of tip passing right now by the line. And it's going to be Eric Cruikshank with a goal that just gets past the left. The stick of Andrew Best. It's 3-1 Illini as their leading goal scorer picks up another.
Yeah, we saw Cruikshank on their last power play wind it up from that right slot area multiple times, and tonight he was able to bury it right under Best's blocker. Beautiful shot.
Yeah, move over Alex Ovechkin. I think that's Eric Cruikshank's side. Mr. Third Period striking a frame early. His 7th goal of the year, leading this Illini team where they really needed a goal on the man advantage. They failed to do so last night on a pair of power plays against the Bearcats.
Yeah, they kind of peppered Andrew Best in that first period on the power play. That time it was a lot more passing to create the space for Cruikshank, the open man, and he was able to just put it past Best, doing what he does best. No pun intended. There was a pun intended. 3-1 now, 11:53 to go here in this second period. Illini Hockey and WPGU 107.1 and on YouTube.
And we have Quinn here going, taking the puck down in the boards, and it looks like it's going to be called offsides for icing. We're going to bring that back over.
Alongside Eric Fisher, I'm Stephen Cohn. Cristiano Simna joined us at ice level here in the second period. Saturday night switcheroo. Can't even talk now. It's been such a long game. No commercials here in Illini Hockey tonight. And it's going to be a draw from the left point, the right of Jake Barnhart, the rookie goalie for the Illini. It's played on the D2 club before. Illini going to win that draw as Chance Homer in the third line center. And centered for Chance, who passes off to Moskala. Can't handle it though in the offensive zone. It's going to be Stephen Quinn. Off to the right point for Joey Randall. Has a nice keep. Centered in front. And it's another goal. It's going to be tipped by Chance Homer, who was standing right in front of the net. And it's 4-1 now with Illini's second goal in the past minute.
It's all about getting pucks to the front of the net. Joey Rittendale handles a hot pass. What does he do? Tosses one on, and Holmgren, welcome back to the lineup. He missed a pair of games against NIU, striking in a key way right after that power play goal. Illinois with 2 quick ones.
Those guys that missed last weekend, Chance Homer and Bobby Ernstling, making huge impacts here in their return after missing the NIU series a week ago. And then Illini now have really opened that lead up to 3 goals, their largest lead of the weekend. Illinois wins that draw. 11:15 to go now in the second period. And Illinois looking to add to their 3-goal lead. Evan Sabo skates. Chucked into the boards. Number 20, Ricky Haddon. The 13th forward for the Lions tonight. Going the other way now is McKendree. Illinois playing really physical along the boards. And now allowing McKendree, keeping them off to the sides. Great play by Haddon in front of the net to tip that one away. Now it's going to be up to Mike Turk to attempt to clear it into the neutral zone. It's going to look like it's going to hit the bench, or someone stick on the bench. And we'll be stoppage and play. Some technical difficulties right now in the broadcast. As always, going to be a broadcast that we don't have them. 10:40. And the Illini are going to lose that draw. It goes in McKendree's offensive zone behind the net. A fight for the puck. Off to the right point is number 74, Alex Ivasinko. Ivasinko drops it off for number 12, off to 9, Travis Bob. And that one in front. Jake Barnes got some defense in front of him tonight. That makes his job a little bit easier, and we're going to have a stoppage.
We're seeing Crookshank on the ground now as things are starting to get really chippy out here on the ice for the Illini. He took a shot, and now we have Andrew Richter getting a little involved here with Ivasinko.
Yeah, Ivasinko's been the guy all game to get under the Illini's skin. He'll sit. He tossed Crookshank to the ice one more time, but Crooks is going to get a minor as well.
Yeah, we have the captains out here getting what's going on the ice, and it looks like both teams are going to be receiving penalties, and we're going to have more 4-on-4 action where the Illini have been very successful at tonight or this weekend.
I think Joey Randall is going to start making dinner plans with the referees. He's talked to them so much. It's been a lot. That's a third Quinn Stellmeyer tonight. That's more than I think I've seen in the past year and a half here at Illinois doing Illini hockey games. But the Illini ran out up by 3 goals. Jake Barnhart, the rookie, in goal for Illinois.
And Ivasinko is going to get the extra minor here, guys. So I believe the Illini are going to go on the power play. Crookshank in the box for 2, but 4 there for number 74 in purple. Illinois with a chance to extend their lead to 4.
Eric Crookshank, though, won't get a chance to get a second power play goal of the night after he just had that one a few minutes ago.
And it looks like we're gonna have one of the Illini's lines out as we're gonna Pilka, Robbie.
That's still in and out right now by Eric, so we'll get those problems figured out. We'll share Mike until then. The Illini win this draw in the offensive zone. James McGing at the left point. Passes off to Tyler Opilka. On the power play, once again, the Illini. James McGing to Tyler Opilka. Tip passing once again. Brent Stube playing that role of Eric Crookshank from that power play a moment ago. Tyler Opilka, the high slot. That one going to tip in. It hits both posts on the goal. And it's going to be the Illini's 3rd goal of the period. And Tyler Opilka, he loves the score. It's going to be a 5-1 game.
Yeah, and that was a slow dribbler by Tyler Opilka. As Andrew Best didn't think it was coming in so slow, and was able to sneak right past his left pad.
That's an example of a goaltender expecting a fastball, and he gets a changeup.
I said the Illini were going to score in the power play at some point tonight. Now they've scored 2 times in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and that's great to see as a 5-1 lead over the Bearcats. And they're looking to put this game away.
Yeah, the Illini now have put 5 goals on Andrew Best, who allowed 2.07 goals against per game last year. So they have pounded on 9 goals on Best this weekend, and the Illini's offensive outpouring that we've seen in this non-conference play continues.
Yeah, and this is probably one of the best offensive teams Best is probably going to face all year.
Illini win the draw. Evan Sabo far side at the boards. Slammed into him. It's going to be Justin Reese. That one just basically essentially cleared by number 14, Neil Novosel, by the Illini and McKendree at the corner. That one attempted to be centered for number 6, Billy Lamb. 9:30 to go now. Here, Jake Barnard makes the save after he's got some traffic in front of him. And the Illini go neutral zone. Evan Sabo is quick. Not quick enough, though. And the Bearcats attempted to clear. A shot on goal by number 8, Alec Nicholas. Check that. Number 6, Billy Lamb is no good, but for another time after a whistle tonight, we see some extracurriculars.
Yeah, it looks like once again it's Watt getting very involved in the extracurriculars, and that's not something you really want to see out of your captain because he's supposed to be the leader of this team. He's out there getting him roughing penalties and costing him their own zone, and you just don't want to see that.
Grant Stube gets credit with that goal. Must have got a stick on it. So 2 goals in 2 games. We'll see if that stands up. But Opilka with that fluttering wrister, maybe the refs assume that was a redirect. We'll see that.
Jake Barnard hasn't got much traffic on him tonight. We only saw 12 shots by the Bearcats tonight and go. 9 minutes to go now in the second period. And the Illini go back in offense. So it's been all Illini since a 1-1 tie in that first period. And then the late goal by Drew Richter. McKendree in to neutral ice. Cleared ahead, far side. For number 27, Connor Brennan, who had the lone goal for the Bearcats tonight. Centered for Tyler Wilson. Loses sight of the puck. And the line bounced it away. Fought to Stephen Quinn at the far side at the red line. And the line are going to get a chance for the breakout now. Joe Nolan and Joey Randall. Behind that, so scuffle for the puck. Joey Caprio boards. And Joey Rindell, check that. The captain. It's number 89, Cole Duzane.
And now we have the puck here at the top of the blue line. Now it's pushed down back along the. And then we have the puck going right behind the net as it looks like Joey Rittendale is fighting for it. Puck now in the corner. Centering pass just off. We have Moskowitz and Quinn going two on two on the other way. Moskowitz on the boards. He fires one on Best. It dribbles right behind the net. And Quinn passes it right behind for Moskowitz. Now we have Moskowitz.
Should I get in on this play-by-play too? What, is everybody just doing a rotating cast? Now the puck back into the Bearcats zone. Tapped in by Wilson. As Barnhart plays the puck back to Kendati. Stephen Cohn, back to you.
We'll see. I think I'm good again. Okay, yeah, we're having a lot of technical difficulties in the second period. Not anyone's fault. Just always seems to happen here in WPGU and YouTube. That one dropped off by Bobby Ernst for James McGing, who's going to skate through the hot slot. Shots it for Mark Kendati, but the shot and goal deflected. Illini still fighting for it. 7:09 to go in the second period. Illini have 5-1. Number 89, Cole Duzane skates through neutral ice, blocked away by Mike Turek. Goes to the near side half boards, and the line to come away with it. It's Mark Kendati. Kendati to counter. He's done a great job playing that the line with Bobby Ernst and James McGing being the right winger. That pass too far. And neutral ice. McKendree wins it. That's Alec Nicholas.
Oh, great save by Barnhart right there. Big hit right behind the net by McGing.
That one tried to attempt for the keep by Daniel Nordlander, but it's not good enough. Illinois neutral zone now. James again to David Kellner. David Kellner right circle. Puts it. It's going to hit the back of the net. Tries to center in now. Still has a chance to catch his own center. And it's going to be a fight in neutral zone. One of those 50-50 pucks, so important for the Illini to win.
Yeah, and David Kellner has always been great at that, winning those 50-50 pucks as he one of his very
McKendree, it's at the right circle. Shot, it's going to be gloved by Jake Barnard. Caught that one. Hasn't faced many shots tonight that were hard. That was one of the hardest ones.
Cruikshank finally gets to escape here as he was down here for probably 3 minutes. 5:51 left in the second. Illinois' best period, arguably, I'd say, of the weekend.
Yeah, this might be their best period we've seen from them in the past 2 or 3 weekends. Just the full kind of play that Illini are doing this right now in this 20 minutes. Illini win that one. It's cleared into the neutral zone. Battle. Ricky Haddon can't get it. And we're going to have icing.
Ricky Hatton getting his first time on the ice so far. Coach Fabrini is starting to feel pretty comfortable with his speed, so he's going to try to get these younger guys as much ice for the rest of this game.
Yeah, we've seen guys this weekend like Jake Graham. We've seen some of those other freshmen for the Illini so far this year.
Yeah, Jack. Oh, I'm sorry.
Jack Graham. No, yeah, but Ricky Hatton tonight, it's his turn.
Yep. And Jack Graham's really solidified himself as a key playmaker on that third defensive pairing alongside Mark Kendati.
In front of the net, as Eric Crook check that Grant Stuve for Joey Cabrio. Tries to put that one not getting his first point of the season. Can't. That one just flutters in front of Andrew Best. Grant Stuve with another chance and no good.
And we saw Eversenko block that puck from block that glove side of. Oh no, we have a goalie change as well as we have Klosterman in behind the net as the Bearcats are looking to bring a little bit more life into their team through this change.
Joey Caprio, always a great active stick, especially in neutral ice. He's able to check that one away behind net. McKendree has to reset and try to break out again. Tough to break out against a quick Illinois team that can get to the other side of the ice so fast. Neil Novosel tries to get in front of that one. That one just stretched past the other side of the ice. Connor Brennan drops it off for Ryan Reeder, who puts it in net, blocked away by
that one
Barnard.
got to the post too, Steven. Very close.
Illinois. Neil Novosel can't hold on to it. That one skies in. It looked like it might come into the stands here at the big pond for a second. But Neil Novosel now at the right point puts it in net. A centering pass for Evan Sabo is blocked away. Great thought right there by the Illini.
McKendree's just not able to get any neutral zone pressure, and especially moving into the offensive zone as Illinois quickly. It's just a bunch of 1-and-outs for McKendree at this point.
Justin Reese can't clear that one. McKendree with another chance. Tyler Opoganao going to try to lead the breakout for Illinois. Ahead to Evan Sabo. It's a long shift for the fourth line. As Eric mentioned, the freshman need to get some time.
Yeah, Sabo's been very active on this fourth line for the Illini all season. And it's great to see, especially him coming as a transfer. You can try, it's tough moving on to a new team, and it looks like he's adjusting very well.
Yeah, under 3.5 to go now in the second period. Illinois up by 4. McKendree has had a lot of offensive zone time, but not many good shots on Jake Barnard. He saved just about all of them he's faced tonight. Stephen Quinn tries to stick it away and clear the puck. Illini will. They're going to set past the blue line. Stephen Quinn at the left circle. Tries to center it for Joe Nolan. The two-way defenseman has a goal tonight. Nolan back now at the left circle. Centered for Chance Homer, who tries to get the backhand shot on the backup goaltender tonight for the Bearcats. Chance Homer falls in that one behind that.
That was a beautiful shot opportunity for Nolan, but it just a little bit off, and Homer was just also off in his rebound opportunity.
Stephen Quinn with a push on Daniel Nordlander after that play. Going the other way now is McKendree. Shot saved by Barnhart. John Moskalik leading that lineup right now. Stephen Quinn, Chance Homer way at the blue line. Go past now. John Moskalik tries the center for Chance Homer. That one blocked away though. And it goes to the far side.
The Illini just being very patient with this third line out there right now. They're just making the simple plays, and they've been able to keep the puck away from McKendree.
It's that hustle line. They're going to make you work for everything. Oh, a chance for...
Watch number 501 remains in effect until 1 a.m. Sunday and now includes the following county: Ford, Illinois. Remember, a tornado watch means the conditions are favorable for the development of severe weather, including tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds in and close to the watch area. While severe weather may not be imminent, persons should remain alert for rapidly changing weather conditions and listen for later statements and possible warnings. Stay tuned to NOAA Weather Radio, commercial radio and television outlets, or internet sources for the latest severe weather information.
Now we're going to have icing. Sorry about that. Some severe weather here in East Central Illinois, the Champaign-Urbana area. If somehow in that 1 minute you just start joining us, it's 5-1 Illinois here in the second night of Illinois and McKendree. The Illini is 7-0, McKendree 5-2. Alongside Eric Fisher, I'm Stephen Goen. Cristiano Simonetta will join us in a second once again. Down to ice level, 1:33 to go in the second period. The Illini with 3 second period goals. They've won a lot of faceoffs tonight. That's another win. Bobby Ernst and James McGing tries to drop it off for Mike Turk at the right circle. Kellner behind net. Kellner caught up in the corner. Pushed by 2 McKendree defenders. Somehow comes away with it going. Pass. Tries to get it past the goaltender for McKendree, but no good. Just over a minute to go now here in the second period. Great pass by Bobby Ernst to James McGing. An attempt for a keep by Mark Candotti is no good, so the lineup resets. That one just thrown by Mike Turek. Bobby Ernst pinned against the boards. Oh. Have David Kellner pushed down to the ice. It's been a pretty chippy second period. James McGing at the right circle thought about a shot. Now he's skating around centers for Eric Cruikshank. Cruikshank with a chance at the right circle. Pass to James McGing, who tries to go on the right side of the goal.
He was looking for a 5-hole there, but Klosterman having none of that, moving side to side very well.
Eric Cruikshank hangs out in the corner, passes off the Tara Pilga. Pilga towards the net, raise a goal in the second period. And Eric Cruikshank, check that Grant Stuve, skates across the red line. Eric Cruikshank going to clear, 10 seconds left now. 5-1 Illinois. Jake Barnard going to stick it. That should be just about the end of this second period as 2-1. No more shots by McKendree, and a great second period by the Illini. 3 goals there in that middle part of the period, and the Illini have their biggest lead of the weekend, up by 4. It's 5-1.
And we're going to go to Cristiano down at ice level with the captain, Joey Rittendale. What do you got for us, Cristiano?
Thanks, Eric, here obviously with senior captain Joey Rittendale. You're up 5-1 after 40 minutes. What can you still do to instill that type of play that your head coach wants to preach? He wants you to get better. He wants you to have more energy. What can you do in this final frame?
I think with 5-1, I think we need to focus on the little things, getting pucks out, not making risky plays at the blue line, stuff that's going to evolve in the upcoming weekend. So I think if we just come out next period, skate hard, and do the small things and work hard in the corners, we'll be okay.
You handled a pass to the right point. We're able to funnel it on. Is that an element of your game where you may not have as much time, but because there's so much traffic in front, you might as well just toss it in, especially in the ACHA. You're going to get bounces and you're going to get deflections from your line mates.
Yeah, I think our forwards are doing a good job so far of getting to the net. When they get the pucks back to the D, we have some time up there, so I think we're just trying to get the puck to the net, and Homer did a great job getting in front and tipping it in, so got lucky there.
Thanks, Joey. Good luck in the third. Backed up to you guys in the treehouse.
It's been an exhausting night here. No commercial breaks here on WPGU and on YouTube for Illini hockey. But the Illini don't look exhausted. They look like they're going to get the weekend sweep unless Jake Barnard gives up a few third-period goals. But up after 2 periods, the Illini up by 4. Goals from 5 different Illini, spreading out that scoring across all 4 lines. What impressed you most, Eric Fisher, in that second period?
I love the puck movement most of. They're playing unselfish hockey the entire period, which is something you need out of a team like this one that has the amount of young talent they have with the perfect mix of older veterans like James McGing, Eric Cruikshank, and Grant Stuve. So going into next week, this has to keep up, and it's great to see for them, and we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, the Illini just a flurry of goals right there. 2 power play goals, including 1 by Eric Cruikshank. He's got 7 goals this year. What has made him so dominant? Again, time after time after time. He's doing a great job here in non-conference play, almost 1 goal per game.
I think it starts with his shot. He has a beautiful shot that has a lot of power on it, and he could almost put it wherever he wants, as we saw him able to put that right under Best's blocker side, which has been a side that Best has usually been locked down on for most of the night, but Cruikshank was able to sneak it right under there. And that's what's really set him apart from a lot of the other scorers in the ACHA, has been his ability to be so dominant offensively and be able to put that puck wherever he wants in the back of the net.
Let's give us 10-second station identification. You're listening to Illini Hockey on WPGU 107.1 FM. You're also watching us maybe on YouTube. Thank you to Wirecast, and you can find that link on our Facebook page for Illini Hockey. It's called Illini Hockey, or the Twitter, which is Illini Hockey, so pretty easy to find. Alongside Eric Fisher, I'm Stephen Cohn. Cristiano Simonetto will join us again in a moment. This was your second period Saturday night switcheroo. And this is now your second period intermission show.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad to see the switcheroo come to an end, but
yeah,
we had better luck the first period with our technicality, so hopefully bring good karma, bring Cristiano back up in the box will give us a little bit better wishes from this third period.
You know, Cristiano's going to graduate in a few months. It's right around the corner. And then this won't be a switcheroo anymore. This is a real deal, so you better enjoy him now because he's going to be gone soon enough.
I mean, did I ever enjoy him, though?
No, maybe not.
That's a real
maybe not.
No, we all love Cristiano here. He does decent work on the play-by-play, but nothing like my good old friend Stephen Cohn right here.
I don't need that. My ego is big enough. But let's talk. We explained what the Ice Girls were doing that first period intermission with the shot on goal by those 8-year-olds. Let's talk about what's going on now. We don't always show what's going on the ice during intermission. People throwing pucks on what happens if they get one close?
Looks like they'll probably get a good opportunity to meet the lovely Ice Girls down in Ice Hole, and they'll probably get a prize of some sort as well, as this is one of our more simpler games that we have during the intermission.
Okay, well, we'll get to the meat of the conversation in a moment, but what prize would you want to get if you won this?
Probably a free hot dog, honestly. That might just be me, but I mean, I'm a little hungry right now, so if they came up to me and offered me a free hot dog, I'd probably be a little ecstatic.
They got hot dogs, they got nachos, they got drinks. We're just selling the Illinois Ice Arena tonight, everything about it.
I know we're talking about the renovations, and then now we're talking about the concessions.
At CUYHA, the Youth Hockey Association, we just covering all our bases here in Illini Hockey's second period intermission. So, welcome back, Cristiano. Nice to see you again.
What did I leave? Like, what happened up here?
We fell apart. It was just downhill.
Train wreck.
Okay, well, we're back here. Everything's good. The Illini didn't have any technical difficulties there. They scored 3 goals, and beautiful ones at that.
Oh, yeah, they were great goals by the Illini. As we saw Grant Stuve have a great goal, and then we had Chance Holmgren, who was right in front of the net, making a great rebound opportunity, burying it in the back of the net. And that's his first goal since they traveled down to Bloomington, where he had a great one-timer. And so out of the Illini, having 5 different goal scorers really just attests to the level of talent that they possess on all 4 lines on this team.
And I even love to see someone like Joey Caprio, Joey Randall get a few shots in that period. So you're trying to see guys now that haven't really scored as much, especially Joey Caprio doesn't even have a point yet this season, getting shots on goal and trying to score.
Yeah, we saw Evan Sabo look pretty hungry to get his first point of the year, but he got it tonight. So we'll see what we see out of Joey Caprio, who's been on record saying that he's a little frustrated that he hasn't gotten a point so far this year.
Yeah, on record a lot of times that he hasn't had a point this year, and he takes solace in the fact that Dimitri Cassis, who separated his shoulder, also doesn't have a point. So Joey Caprio, well, that means he's going to get on the board in this third period, wouldn't it?
We'll see, but that's the fact that he's mentioning Cassis as the only thing that's keeping them together.
And Turkey, and Mike Turek, so who's had a phenomenal game, I think, on the third period. Him and Kendati, they are the ones that have shined, and it's just, again, the Swiss Army knife of defenders that you can all toss in at any situation, and they're going to give you top-line minutes, which is just phenomenal for head coach Nick Fabrini to have.
Yeah, they're not as much like scoring-oriented Kendati and Turk, but when you're looking at the third defensive pairing, I don't think you're looking for them to be big-time scorers at that point, because the Illini is basically top 12 can all score. The top 4 defensemen all have the ability to score. So how many guys do the Illini need to score? I think they did a great job on defense, especially in that back check all period long.
Well, not every goal is scored by the same guy, and we just keep saying that. So last season it would be Eric Cruikshank would get a hat trick, sure. Bobby Ernsting would have a pair. James McGing would score so many goals as he did. Now they're getting it from the supporting cast, and you look up at the scoreboard, they're always putting up 4 or 5 goals a game, at the exception of 1, which was against the NIU Huskies. So now you're able to just focus and relax and play great hockey through all 3 zones. And for Nick Fabrini, sure, he wants them to play 110 miles per hour every single second, but you're able to make a mistake. And I think that's the most important part about this Illini team, is that one mistake doesn't kill them out of the game, but of course, we'll see if that changes coming to divisional play in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I think another big key for the Illini is that when they have all 4 lines clicking, it's taking a lot of pressure off of the top guys like James McGing, Eric Cruikshank, and Grant Stuve to make plays. And so they're able to play a lot more calmly and a lot more comfortably on the ice. And so that's going to allow the Illini to flow a lot better offensively. And on the defensive zone, that also allows them to be a lot more comfortable in knowing where each other are at all times and make defensive plays.
And we'll turn to our YouTube comments here for a great question to spark this second period intermission. Bethany says, do you think this year's team has the physical side to have a fair game against Lindenwood? She hasn't seen much fighting from them this year. And that's true. They have a lot of guys where they're more, like as Steven said, the word that he used was skill-oriented. They don't have a lot of bruisers. Tadayoshi Shibata, he graduated. Chris Lozanek, he graduated. Dusek, one of the hardest hitting defensemen, as well as Austin Zima and Will Nunez of prior years, they're all gone. This team seems to be more built on skill and ones that won't beat you on the ice, but they'll beat you on the scoreboard.
Well, I think first I mentioned that when James McGing took the first coincidental minor of this game tonight, right in front of the net, he was ready to throw some punches. So I think first, this team does have the physical side. Stephen Quinn always always the guy who could count to check someone into the boards. So so the Illini have some of those bruisers on this team, though. But though I don't think they really need to show that yet, because against teams like Illinois State, Michigan State, NIU, McKendree, they're not the physical teams because they know they don't have the size or last week with NIU, it was a smaller bench just because they had the less guys. They can't afford to be more physical because they need those guys out on the ice to be able to stay close to the Illini. When you're playing equal-sized teams with bigger players like Lindenwood in a few weeks, I think Illinois is going to step it up. I do think they have that physicality, though, to match that.
I think the Illini also have a bulldog in Justin Reese, who's always seems like he's been stirring up trouble these last couple games. And so when you have a guy like that on your fourth line that's really setting the tone physicality-wise, that's going to inspire your top-line guys and match that. And so that's great for them to see out of Justin Reese, a freshman just coming in this year who thought he didn't even have a roster spot coming into the season. And so it's little things like that are going to make an impact in this game.
But with trouble comes penalties.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't want to enter that sin bin. Cruikshank did, Justin Reese did, as well as Andrew Richter in that second period. They don't want that. Coach Rini does not want to see his team take any minor penalties. He doesn't care if they're coincidentals. He needs his team at even strength and as much personnel out to dish as he pleases.
And you see how important guys like James McGing always being on the ice are, or even Eric Cruikshank. He had the power play goal. A few minutes later, coincidental minor. He can't be on the ice for 2 minutes. So that kind of hurt the Illini because they had their power play opportunity, but Eric Cruikshank couldn't be the guy out there. So just every minor, every penalty is going to be important going forward. And it was a huge issue 2 years ago where the Illini basically were very undisciplined. This year, they really stepped that up.
And I think the key is for them to find that line between playing smart and physical hockey and playing reckless, unnecessarily aggressive hockey as well. As we saw last year, the Illini took several unnecessary penalties, and we saw guys get suspended throughout the year for fighting, but so far that hasn't happened this year. So it seems like they've started to find that line between when to be aggressive and when to lay off. But so far in this game, it looks like things are starting to get a little chippy, and you can't have any of your top guys or anyone in general getting suspended after this game because they're facing Lindenwood in a couple weeks, and that's going to be an extremely tough road test for them. And they're going to want all the guys possible to help them out on that.
How about more CSCHL score updates? That's always fun, right?
Oh,
yeah, that's a good time.
Yep.
Yeah, no, you want to say something now? No, go.
Oh my God!
You were on the spot.
Yeah, you're already picking that up. It was
okay. It's going to benefit you. Brings you back to your first role on the Illini Hockey broadcast.
That's what I was thinking, yes. Back in the day with...
Look how much you've grown, or lack of.
So with the update, we have the Cyclones down 1-0 to the Lions after 2 periods. And Lindenwood's Mike Lozano scored at the 2-minute mark, and the Lions largely contained Iowa State for most of that period, according to their Twitter page, as I just read off.
Yeah, so what that has, Iowa State beating Lindenwood, so... Both those top 10 teams in the country, Ohio number 4 against UNLV number 14. They're up 7-1, so really putting a pounding on the Rebels tonight.
And it's just how it's always going to be in the CSCHL games. You're never going to see a team rout one another. There are going to be fights, there's going to be hits, there's going to be penalties, and that's why you alluded to 2 years ago, James McGing and Eric Cruikshank had a combined 140 penalty minutes between the two of them. Unacceptable. Fabrini has a talk with them after the season. Last season, Cruikshank cuts his penalty minutes in half, as does McGing, and now you rarely see James McGing heading in the box through 7 games, 7 2/3 games, but division play is a whole other monster that the Illini are going to have to overcome.
But just imagine what their stats could look like if they stayed on the ice those first 2 years and were able to make an impact that we've seen guys like Chan Somer and Bobby Ernst-Thing, Luke Forfar last year had for his Illinois team. So if they were more disciplined in their first 2 years, they would be blowing away every school record, although they essentially already are.
Yeah, we've also seen tonight just examples of James McGing being more composed, as he's been knocked down several times on what could have been possibly called penalties, but he's just gotten back up. He pleaded his case to the referees, and he just skated off the ice when we didn't see any retaliation at him whatsoever, which we probably would have saw last year in the season after that, as he's a player that's used to having a little bit of a hot head, but he knows that he has to take a bigger role for this team, as he knows the level of talent they have and how they have the potential to really make a deep postseason run.
Yeah, no, Illinois right now, that second period, we mentioned it during that period. This was one of the best periods I think I've seen from this team all year. It was one of the most complete periods, and Jake Barnhart, I think, has done a fantastic job in goal tonight.
Yeah, and he doesn't look overwhelmed. I think he's so poised in the crease. He doesn't have the size of Ross Lippick, who Ross is, of course, at 6'5". But what Barney makes up for is his lateral movement. I think we saw a couple of instances where he really pushed on his edges and utilized the pillows, his pads, his leg pads to kick rebounds out of the slot. There weren't really a lot of opportunities for McKendree that were wide open off of that initial save. So for Barnhart, he's able to cover the puck when he has to, and he can play the puck too. Don't mistake that element to his game too.
If you're Nick Fabrini now, though, let's say this goes well. So you had 2 pretty good starts from Ross the Boss Lippick. You had 2 pretty good starts from Jake Barnhart. What do you go with going forward? What is the situation? Is it a controversy? I don't want to use that word, but is it that, or do you just rotate them? Or are they both the backups? What do you think is the plan?
Well, you may not say that there isn't a controversy, but yeah, there's no controversy. David Heflin, and it's not a knock on Ross Lippick or Jake Barnhart or Eric Ziegler. David Heflin's just that good, and he showed it through the couple of games that he started. His stats tell it all. 4-0 now, and then his goals against is under 2, as he allowed a pair of goals last night. It's just, you can't ask for more out of your goaltender. I think you said that in the pregame show, and Hef has taken this team, and the reins are all his. It's going to take something dramatic to get Hef out of the crease because he's so zoned in. And again, the Illini have a great goaltending core. They always have the past 5 years with Hef backing up Joe Olin, and before that. So I think it's such a part of the Illini's game that goes underlooked if you're just a casual fan. But you see those box scores, Illinois' defense would allow 40 shots plus a game against divisional opponents. Everything can be thrown out once we get to Lindenwood, but until then, they've done a heck of a job.
Yeah, I think what Steven was alluding to is the battle for the backup goaltender position. As you've seen Ross Lippick come out here and have a couple good starts, but he has looked shaky at times, especially against NIU. And we have Jake Barnhart, who coming into the season was listed as the 3rd goaltender back up to Ross Lippick. And he's coming out here and he's really stuffing the Bearcats, and he's really having great rebound control. And so I think for Fabrini, it's going to come down to situational play. Is it going to be a team? Are they going to be facing a team that's going to get a lot of shots on goal, where you're going to need your goaltender to really be able to play the puck and have great rebound control? Or is it going to be a team that's going to have an average amount of shots, and you're going to need a bigger sized goaltender to really cover up more of the net, and he's going to be able to make better plays since he's going to be facing less shots?
Yeah, it's really nice to have those options because David Heflin and Jake Barnhart, technically they're the same height. Barnhart's about 15, 20 more pounds listed on the website, so we don't know if that's how real that actually is. Guys like to give themselves an inch or a few pounds every now or then, just to intimidate opponents and broadcasters alike. But it's not. But then you got someone that's 6'5" like Ross Lippick, so you're able to decide based on the day what kind of goaltender you want on goal. But yeah, David Heflin, I agree, is going to be that guy going forward.
Oh, without a doubt. He's just been so dominant this year. And last season, we saw him go on the road against Iowa State and shut them out, stopping 72 of 73 shots, I believe, which is just remarkable as you see the level of talent that Iowa State is, as they're the 5th-ranked team in the ACHA.
So you go back to Barnhart versus Lippick. He can't teach size, and Ross has got that. He's got the weight. He's got the upper body play of his glove and his blocker being very active. But again, they both thrive in their own ways, and that's what makes them unique, and that's what makes them on the roster, because the Illini wouldn't dress 3 goalies or 4 goalies on the roster. They would only have 2. So now, having 3 options, perhaps something tragic happens to David Heflin. He has to miss a couple of starts. You put in Ross, you put in Barnhart. You rarely miss a beat, but they only allow under 20 shots a game.
That's incredible.
And absolutely, because even against Division II opponents last year, they would allow up in the 30s.
The testament of the defense that the Illini have, and that's, you could teach defense as well, and the Illini have made that an emphasis here early on this season, and that will carry over. They'll get obviously a lot more shots to division opponents, but that's the kind of performance you want from your defense to be able to shut down. And if it's working now, it's going to continue working to an extent once you get to conference games.
And it's led by Joey Rittendale, Joey Caprio, Joe Nolan, and Tyler Opilka. That top four reminds me a lot of the Chicago Blackhawks top four at their finest with Jalmerson, Seabrook, Keith. They are honestly the best blue line in the CSCHL in terms of their offensive ability. We'll get to Lindenwood. We'll see guys from NCAA Division III clubs that transferred to Lindenwood. They have a great recruiting program. They have Rick Zombo, a former NHLer who knows how to instill defense. But through 7 games, the Illini have the most goals per game in the CSCHL, the least allowed goals in the CSCHL, and their special teams are atop as well.
Yeah. Lindenwood might have Rick Zombo, but the Illini have Nick Fabrini, well respected at this level. He's been here, he's gone undefeated, he's won a national championship, he was one of the captains on that team. So he's a guy that has the leadership, and I think right now he understands how to work with his team, how to build his young team into what can be a winner, and a consistent winner at that, because so many freshmen sure are going to lose that scoring production after this year. I know we're still a long way away from the end of the season, but right now, I think Nick Fabrini is looking long-term as well, because he is building up all 4 lines to not just one of them is going to just fall apart because there's all seniors, but they are built with freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors.
And it makes you wonder, what if Shaunik Powell was in the lineup right now? So he is lost for the entire regular season and playoffs. No way that he can come back, and it's tough for a senior who is a .6 per game point producer. And then Chris Losenek graduated early. Yep. But the bottom 6, and Neil Novosel, Sabo, Reese, they just look like they've been in the program for so many years, and we're only 1 month into the season.
Well, there were a lot of questions entering this year, like, who will that 4th line be? I know you were asking that, but right now I feel like Nick Fabri's kind of gotten a little comfortable with Sabo, Novosel, and Reese. We'll see if that stays going forward. But right now, I think it's a fairly healthy team. And that's going to be the 4th line entering conference play.
As we near the beginning of the 3rd period, 3:30 until puck drop in the final frame of regulation. Cristiano Sonetta with you right now. Stephen Cohn alongside. We'll get Eric Fisher's thoughts in just a couple of minutes. 5-1 Illinois over the McKendree Bearcats. And why don't the Sox fan, Stephen Cohn, do the honors of updating the Chicago Cubs score against the LA Dodgers in Game 1?
Well, let me tell you, the Dodgers are threatening with a man on first base here in the 5th inning and 1 out. But they're also down 2-0. That's what they have to threaten. So the Cubs look like they're 3.5 games away from their 2nd straight trip to the Fall Classic.
I really hope that you don't jinx them. I know you probably want to.
I just did. That was it.
You're terrible.
It's all going downhill.
Terrible human. You have 2005. It's okay. The Cubs
I need more. That's not enough. Haven't made the playoffs since 08.
It's going to be a long rebuild process for you, Steven. Why don't you just sit tight and just watch a real baseball team play in the postseason?
Hey, just when we get to these games next year, Illinois is playing like Illinois State in October. Let me tell you, we'll be saying the White Sox postseason scores in the ALCS against the Red Sox.
Next year?
Yeah, next year, 2018.
Good thing I'll be gone for that. Jeez. Back to hockey, though.
No.
The Blackhawks in action against the Nashville Predators. The St. Louis Blues in action against the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's been a great start to the NHL season. But the ACHA standings, the CSCHL, is the hardest division. It's equivalent to the group of death of the World Cup. And for good reason, all teams are ranked. Illinois, the lowest at number 12. It's tough to even say low, but that's how it is, especially with Ohio pounding UNLV, who is number 14.
And it's not about right now, because every loss does matter, and we don't really understand how these rankings work a lot of the time. Some computer puts them together. But the Illini need to make sure they are not losing these early season games, because they know they'll more than likely make the ACHA national tournament. It's about that seeding, and you want to avoid some of those CSCHL teams for as long as you can, because you know those are going to be some of the best teams in the country. The Illini lost last year to the eventual national champions Central Oklahoma in the 2nd round.
And you got to make sure you're at full strength, whether it be injury, whether it be from suspension, as James McGing missed the last 3 games of the regular season, plus the playoffs in the division, but returned against Drexel as well as UCO and scored, and it was a big part of that win against Drexel. But you just have to make sure that you've got guys that they're healthy, that they're in the lineup. They can't take some dumb penalties, and they have to make sure that they don't take their foot off the gas late in February.
First, Iowa State just tied it up with Linda Woods. Chuck that. They took the lead 2-0. So they're up by 2 now. A goal from goal by Stevenson.
John Severson, who's always a great guy, an Illini killer.
But the Illini don't want to see fights at all. You don't want guys suspended. That goes back to that YouTube comment. You want to see aggressive, assertive play. We don't want to see all-out fighting.
As we just get ready, get set for this third period, presented by YouTube.com. We're glad you can join us. Cristiano Simonetta, Stephen Cohen alongside, Eric Fisher down at ice level. As the Illini win the draw, it's James McGing starting for this second line now for David Kellner. Kellner attempting to dip through 2. Now it's on the stick of Nichols, and outlets for Dominic Noss. 15 seconds into the third period. A hefty deficit here for the Bearcats as a dangle through the middle, and a shot there from Noss was knocked away. Now Lestrick back to the line. Nichols handcuffed him a bit. And back to the goaltender. That's Trevor Klosterman, who's 2-0 on the season, 1.82 goals against, and a .936 save percentage. And Noss attempting to thread one through, and oh my goodness, look at the crease there as Barnhart had to dodge Nichols, who was like shot out of a cannon, and he takes the net with him. I guess Lestrick is the only thing that has gotten through to the net since the first period.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's one way for the Bearcats to find the back of the net, but we'll see if they try to really speed up play here in this third period, because that's the way they're going to find themselves back in this game, trying to set up offense. The Illini are going to do too good of a job of keeping them to the outside and not allow shots.
Face off to the right of Jake Barnhart. His second start at home, and he's 1-0. On the verge of a second victory, but we still have 19 minutes left. As the Bearcats are known for their quick strike ability. As this is back for number 89, Cole Dezan. Haven't seen too much of the Ontario native. Now back for Tyler Opilka. Over to Joey Caprio. Caprio out for Stube. Diagonals one for Drew Richter along the circle. He scores! Incredible shot there from Drew Richter. 1:04 into the third period. 6-1. Richter's second of the game.
He went top shelf on Klosterman to the far side. I don't know how he found that part of the net, but great job getting some elevation on the puck, taking the pass and one shot and in.
And we saw Richter just freeze Klosterman as soon as Richter fired that shot. You hardly saw Klosterman even make an attempt to move that blocker. And it looks like Klosterman's coming over to the bench as we're going to see Best come back into the game.
An unconventional move there in a 5-goal game. Andrew Best comes back in as Klosterman looked like he had lost that puck, and Richter didn't even know he scored because he expected Klosterman to just shoulder it away.
Yeah, I guess taking out Klosterman now is going to be for some damage control. Kind of wave the white flag and just hope for the best.
Drew Richter with his second goal of the game. He hasn't had a trick. As a member of the Illini, as Quinn throws one on. 1-for-1, Andrew Best in his return to the lineup. 18:40 left in the third period. 6-1 Illinois. As the Bobcats, we look on the Twitter feed there, 7-1. The Illini trying to outbeat and outscore those Bobcats in different games.
Granted, the Illini not playing one of the top 15 teams in the country.
It's just going to be such a fun matchup when we see Ohio twice. In February, most likely.
In Athens, we'll be there.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
At Ohio University. Shout out Drew Sudnick. I know he's probably listening right now. It's going to be a fun time over there. And legendary Bird Arena. Probably the best crowd in the CHL aligned with the Illini. It's going to be a fun atmosphere as Ohio comes to town in November. But we're in October. And the Illini are undefeated. 7-0. Attempting to make it 8-0. Here's John Moskalik on the forecheck. Dips one around Reeder. Reeder lifts the stick of John. Now out to neutral ice for the Bearcats.
Klosterman had to know that if he gave up one goal this period, I think that was his leash.
And the
leash, he
leash
just went right off the ice. So.
Oh, yeah, he knew it.
Yeah.
And here comes Best. Going to be able to play it to Reeder. 2 minutes gone by in this third period. 6-1 Illinois. Thanks to a third period goal from Drew Richter. Now Novacell at the far side. He lost the puck now for Brennan. Brennan, who opened the scoring for McKendree. And now on the red line, will be dumped in by DeZan. DeZan goes cross corner. Levi Armstrong, who's had a quiet night. He's pummeled to the ice by 2 Illini. Here's Condati escaping. Now back for Turek. Mike Turek on the third pairing, the last D pairing of the Illini, alongside number 8 in orange and gray. Now here's Rick Hatton. Hatton battling on the near side. 17:25 left in the third period. Cristiano Simonetta with you. Stephen Cohn alongside Eric Fisher down at ice level. Joe Nolan spins away from Davies in his own zone. Nice move to the inside. Now here's Rittendale. Joey Rittendale on the red line, moving in. He'll clear it. And Nolan is going to be the first forechecker. Nolan, who opened the scoring in this hockey game, not just for Illinois. As the puck is rung around to the far side. Moving in now, it's Hatton, now Sabo. Sabo, maybe driving the net. Sabo just missed wide. Oh, Evan Sabo trying to add his first assist and his first goal in this hockey game. He's been jumping. Novosel takes a hit to make a play. Now Sabo, blind pass right on the table for Lazar Lesterek. Lesterek out for Dom Nass. Nass had a goal in last night's game. On the right circle, drops one for Lesterek. Skate to stick. Attempted to play one through. That was Rittendale. Nolan to get it now for Sabo. Novosel the guy high. Nass out in front and a lifting of the stick. Blair Davies neutralized by Joey Rittendale. He'll backhand 1:16:20 left in the third period. 6-1 Illinois. Now on the near side again, the Illini zone. Bearcats with some offensive zone time. Now at the point, a drive blocked in front by Rittendale off the stick of Ty Watt. As Nass as well as Belke was there.
Jake Barnhart did a really nice job of staying with that puck, even though there was traffic in front of the net.
Nolan late on his shift. Harpoons one out. That'll go down for number 91, Jake Young, the Arnold, Missouri native. Out to the blue line. Has Pluto cutting to the middle. Instead, he's fogged up, and here's Counter. Counter now for James McGing. McGing getting the blue line. Nice pass there for Counter. Throws a defenseman in Watts. Counter plays one along the boards, but it's taken by number 26 in purple from Barrie, Ontario. Now here's Joey Caprio throwing one on and a left pad save. Caprio, of course.
Looking for that goal.
Looking for that goal.
Or a point. Especially a goal.
6-1. 4 minutes and 38 seconds into the third period. We're glad you joined us. Illinois so close to that 8-0 start. Now Counter, great backhand pass, and again a save made by Best. Bobby Ernsting with the chance in tight. 15-12 left in the third period. Illinois still keeping the pressure on.
I think it shows how dynamic the second line is. It's right, the top line with McGing, Kellner, and Ernsting. It's not just McGing and Ernsting. Kellner also, great job, great awareness.
Yeah, and I noticed down here on ice level, after Caprio took that shot, he had a little grin on his face, so he looked like he kind of wanted that one back. As we mentioned earlier, that he's hungry to get his first points of the year.
Caprio fires one, and that one is deflected.
He really wants that goal.
What? Almost hit the brick wall outlining.
I think we're going to see Caprio take about 5 or 6 shots here in this third period to try to get something on.
And you can bet Tyler Opilka's in his ear all night. Hey, I'll give it to you, buddy. Just wrist it on. Face-off one back to number 5. Along the line, it's shot and knocked away by number 6. That was Lamb. Counter out with it. Behind the net. Shouldering a man off with one hand on his stick. Back for McGing. McGing has Ernsting in front. And Caprio back the line. Caprio now for Opilka. Pass a little too far in front of him, excuse me. Now back on the end boards for Counter. 14:45 left in the third period. 6-1 Illinois. Back out to center. Oh, the Illini actually kept this puck in. Here's McGing. Has Ernsting in the circle. He moves and he fires one and a save made with traffic in front as Counter moved to the middle. Always fun to watch 24 and 13 work their magic.
Illinois is doing a great job getting the puck centered in front of the net. And that's going to lead to a lot more high-quality shots.
Bearcats are changing. Now it's Caprio. Lost the puck to Golovko. Golovko wanted to move around, and I believe there's going to be a penalty on the Illini. 5 minutes and 45 seconds into the third period. David Counter with some extra words there for Lamb. I believe he's going to get one. Very reluctant, as I would be too in a 6-1 game. You never want to take a penalty, as we touched on it so much in the second period intermission report. He gets 2 for holding.
And another CSCHL news, it's all starting this week in conference play. Iowa State Lindenwood, we said it was 2-0. It was actually 1-1. Iowa State knotted up late in the third. They're going overtime, so they're going to see some 3-on-3 hockey. That should be fun.
It should be fun to watch that back, as it's going to be incredible to see if that outcome ever comes after 60 minutes, whether in this game or CSCHL play. Bearcats of the power play. Wilson now for Lestrick. Lestrick at the right circle, down low for Nas. Nas trying to bank one. Oh, is that pass was across for Reeder. I don't think he got enough on it. A great pass on the goal line there, and now it's shoveled down the ice. 25 seconds into the Illini penalty kill. Barnhart had to move from left to right.
Look at Eric Cruikshank just skating down the ice, the 190 feet that it is.
Now on the far side circle, Lestrick takes a tumble, now back on for Best. Let's see his puck moving ability. Saucers one all the way up for Wilson. Just a bit offsides. 6:32 in the third period. 6-1 Illinois. A minute 14 left on counters. Minor for holding.
Yeah, you just love to see the Illini still run out playing fast, and they're still out playing the Bearcats, even though they're on the PK here in the third period, up by 5 after a 7-0 start to the season. So you just love to see the effort that we might have not seen in the past by this Illini team really bringing it this season.
Face off to the right of Best. Short-handed opportunity for Illinois. Holmgren goes down. Puck comes free for Nordlander. 5 points in 7 games so far, deking around a man. Here's Nordlander along the red line, along the blue line, going along the near side. Back to the point. He's pressured by Holmgren. Great active stick, and Holmgren's done that at least 2 or 3 times tonight, where he diffuses the play along the line for the McKendree power play. Brennan drops one for Nichols. 45 seconds left on counters. Minor. Nichols on the far side circle. Now back for Nordlander. He could really bring it. Now for Nichols. Alternate captain moving in. Backdoor play. And it's blocked away by Barnhart. The redirection coming. It's a scramble. Holmgren gets it as well as Moskalik. He dumps it down.
Yeah, that's just great help by the Illini. That was a great team play in front of the goal. And they make Jake Barnhart's job easy.
Nordlander moves in. Dekes around 1. Blocked by 3. Turek takes him down, and he'll just slap one. Illinois' penalty kill, their ability to get the puck as far away from the defensive zone as possible.
That's the way.
It's worked tonight.
That's the way to do it.
7:39 into this third period. Nice hit there from Evan Sabo, separating man from the puck. Now here's Ernsting. Could be a 3-on-2 for Illinois. We're back to even strength. Hatton on the right side. Here's Ernsting. He fires one, blocked up the active stick of Reeder. Into the netting. 7 minutes and 52 seconds into the third period. Still 6-1.
Yeah, that PK, that was there's the job by them collapsing close to the crease, and all 4 of them that were still on the ice for that line and making an effort to try to stuff the puck. It's really good.
Guys, I just want to talk about what I've loved out of the Illini so far this season, and that's the effort they come out here on these Saturday games. Last year we saw them come out a little lackadaisical, acting like they were just going to breeze through these Saturday games, but they're coming out this season so far and just dominating.
Great recovery from Opelka as Bob wanted to move around him. Back in McKendree's zone. Now back in front, Evan Sabo just missed wide, my goodness. And now back again for Best. The puck, I believe, is in the crease. No whistle yet, and now it's behind the goal. Oh, Evan Sabo has prime of an opportunity to get his first goal wearing orange and gray, and he missed wide.
Best was stepping out of the crease at that point. The shot was just too hard. And Evan Sabo, yeah, as you said, had a great chance for his second point of the night.
Yeah, Sabo seems like he just has no luck when he gets on his wide open opportunities. He had one earlier this season where he had a wide open net and it just barely whiffed. And now we have, well, he had a great scoring opportunity tonight. He put a lot behind it and it just goes just wide. But he's probably still feeling pretty happy getting his first point of the night.
Now here's Cruikshank, nice inside-out move. Intercepted by Jason Belkey. Out for Ivasinko. Hopped over his stick. This one's going to be icing as Caprio reaches the hash marks. 8:40 into the third period. And going back to Evan Sabo, you know he's just going to bury a pair in conference play because he's had such bad luck, but he's finding himself in the right areas.
Yeah, no, that's a great opportunity right there to take the shot off the deflection and then get another chance. But the Illini keep pressuring Best, and they get so much traffic in front. That's 3 guys trying to get that loose puck. Great effort by the Illini.
Cruikshank, clean face-off win back for Opelka. That one's right on, and it's saved made by Best. No rebound allowed as Drew Richter looking for that hat trick. Wanders around the blue paint. He won't get it there. 8:45 into the third, another stoppage.
Yeah, I don't think Best is going to let me more pucks just free. I think he's going to hold on to everything just because the Illini have had a chance for 7-8 goals tonight, but they've missed a few empty net open net opportunities.
Face off to the left of Best. Cruikshank scoops one out. A little too rough as it's back out to neutral ice and into the Illini zone where it's Opilka. Now for Richter. Great diagonal play for Stube. He soccers one forward. 11:02 left in the third period. Pass comes along the half boards. Richter can't get to it. Opilka back skating. Now over for Caprio. Banking one off the boards, hoping for Cruikshank. That one goes wide of him. But look at Stube trying to beat the icing, and I believe he did. 10:44 left in the third period. The quick, speedy play of number 25 negates it. And speaking of the Roselle, Illinois native, he checks a man, and a Bearcat goes down, as that was Billy Lamb. And he is clearly in a lot of pain here. I didn't see an arm up. 9:29 into the third period. We hope he's okay as he remains on the ice. I think it was an upper body injury, his shoulder, but he doesn't appear to be moving too much.
Yeah, his head's moving a little right now. He's kind of trying to get over on his side. But I'm not trying, no knock on Grant Stube. I wouldn't call him one of the swiftest guys this Illini team, though, but great job by him to save the icing, give the Illini a second chance. He was speeding up that ice.
Yeah, and he's mentioned to his teammates that once he gets rolling down on that rush like that, there's no stopping him. And he just made a great play to keep the puck alive in the Bearcats' offensive or defensive zone.
On second look, I believe Joey Caprio speared Billy Lamb in front of the net. And I hope I'm not misidentifying Caprio there as unable to see the number, but that's exactly what it looks like as Lamb gave him a shove. Then he retaliated with that stick. It's a 6-1 game, Stephen. I don't think you need to do that.
Yeah, that's just kind of undisciplined. We still see Lamb trying to stand up on this ice right now. And he's a hockey player, so he's going to go back to the bench. But yeah, that's not worth it right now by someone like Joey Caprio, if that's the case, just to retaliate.
Lamb's moving very gingerly over to the bench right now. He's not giving a lot of leeway to his upper body right now, and it's going to be very, very intriguing to see how he recovers from this and if he plays the rest of the game. I would say in a game like this, there's really no reason for him to come back onto the ice, as you don't want to risk any more of a serious injury possibly occurring.
And there was no original call. So if the referees do decide to call something, it's going to be interesting, because they have done it before. After a play, there's definitely been a penalty called after further review. But
yeah, one of the Coinsdale Miners tonight was called after a review.
Exactly. So while they don't have the luxury of instant replay, you're just joining us, Cristiano Simonetta with you right now. Steve McCone alongside Eric Fisher here at the Big Pond in Champaign, Illinois. The Fighting Illini with a 6-1 lead over the Bearcats. As Billy Lamb injured on the last play, he remains on the bench and will also remain at even strength.
Yeah, they're lining out 10.5 minutes to go in this game. That's what separates them between an 8-0 start and a 7-1 start. So,
and you don't want to have a player suspended, because the next game is against Lindenwood.
Yeah, and they need all their defensemen, especially a guy like Joey Caprio, to make such an impact on both sides of the ice.
Rittendale comes away with it in his own zone, goes wide. 10:13 left in the third period. Looking for an alley-oop. Play goes wide of best. This one's going to be icing. 9:51 into the third period. We've got to expect some physicality to pick up, though, Stephen, especially after the whistles, because there's been so many calls, there have been so many punches, jabs, whatever you want to call them, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon before this game ends.
And it's the same narrative every single year of this Illinois team. They have to stay composed in this third period. They're usually down by a lot, up by a lot, whatever the situation is. Right there, you just see a little shove into the bench. Davey Kellner pushed.
Here's Lester at a bad angle, looking in front for Nass as the net comes loose. 10:04 into the third period. A lot of whistles, not a lot of fluidity from either team.
Yeah, talk about the extracurriculars going on in this game. Last season, we saw James McGee get suspended for their first postseason game, and that game was clearly out of reach, and the Illini had that victory secured. And so it's situations like these where they have to especially stay composed, because you know the other team's just going to try to take jabs to get this Illini team rattled.
Face off to the left of Barnhart. The Illini win it. The pass there from Counter was knocked away, as well as Rittendale's. Rittendale on the backhand, going for Nolan on the near side in the Illini zone. 6-1 with 9:40 left in the third period.
This is the longest we've gone without a whistle in like a minute and a half.
Down on the near side, or far side in the McKendree zone. Back out of the right point. Here's James McGang. Look at his moves here. A lot of space, a lot of skill. He back skates again. Pass too hot on the tape of Robbie Ernst. Goes down low for counter. Counter. Missed a check. 9:15 left in the third period. As this is DeZand. Outlining one up for Brennan. McKendree gains the line. Reverse is near the goal line area for number 17. That was Wilson. And now Brennan has a backdoor play. It's intercepted by McGing. This could be an odd man rush for Illinois, but counter was gassed, so it'll be a 2-on-2. He has the puck taken away from me, shouldered down, as Nolan comes to his aid with 8:50 left in the third. Referees yell, move it, move it. And it comes out to center for Alec Nichols, 1-on-3, and now Nolan gets in a scrum. And at the near side here, it's tough for the YouTube viewers to see, but there was shoving exchanged. 11:17 into this third period, and it must take a lot for Joe Nolan to get in the physicality, because he usually stays as clean of a hockey player as any.
Yeah, and that's surprising for someone that's 6'4". He's an aggressive player, but he's not one that's going to get in fights. He'll be taken to the box right now, and the Illini will go on the PK.
Yeah, from my vantage point down here, it looked like James McGee took somewhat of a cheap shot along those sideboards, and Joe Nolan was just simply sticking up for his teammate, but that's going to be an easy 2-minute penalty as always. But I think that just attests to how close this team is together, as they're always going to stick up for their line mate.
That's Nolan's first and second minor penalty, or penalty minutes, as a member of the Illini.
That's amazing.
So to stick up for your teammate, play over 20 minutes a night, not that bad in a 6-1 game. You don't want him to play a little bit too loose if you're the Illini against McKendree. Nonetheless, the Bearcats head to the power play. Cross ice now. One-timer. That one's gloved by Barnhart off the stick of Wilson. His first action in quite a while. The Illini faithful doing their best to cheer him on.
For Joe Nolan, that's for someone that plays so well both ways. For him also not to be someone that picks up penalty minutes ever. What more could Nick Fabrini ask in his arguably best defenseman?
Spun around from Reeder at the far side. 20 seconds gone by in the Illini penalty kill back for Reeder, left point. Reeder now for Armstrong. He fires, and another stop by Barnhart. As solid as a rock. No rebound allowed. 8:17 left in the third.
Well, you mentioned earlier in this game, all goalies have different styles. Some of them might be more hesitant to actually play the puck. Jake Barnhart, one of those guys, shown on the last 2 saves.
Right on the far side again. Now to the end boards. It's Armstrong. Canceled out. Kendati couldn't punch it past the blue line. Wilson to take. Wilson with 12 points on the year. Ozil on the near side, holding. 1:15 left in the power play. Now back a shot, and that one just went over the blocker off the stick of Les Turek. And Moskalik tapping it through, can't get it. Turek uses the boards, kept in beautifully, and now finally knocked away, and Moskalik's going to have a race for it. And Best uses the paddle, wands one away. Now Reeder, diagonal pass, but he gained the line, so this won't be icing. Here's Caprio, chops one, but Nas to take it. Dom Nas has a man in the middle. It's Armstrong, goes down low. Now it's Lesterik, the Serbian forward. Now to the right point, left point, slap shot. Reeder fanned on it, and he gets a bit of a Bronx cheer from this Illini crowd. Back along the middle, here's Armstrong stepping in, shot and a chest save by Barnhart. He just drops that butterfly, and he does not give his opponents any room upstairs.
Yeah, and that one deflected off Eric Crookshank back to Jake Barnhart, so had to basically deflect 2 shots for there, keep his eye on the puck. Jake Barnhart doing a great job all night, a brilliant job, one must say.
And we thank you for tuning in on WPGU.com, 107.1 FM, or YouTube.com for the live video stream. We're having fun here. 6-1 Illinois over McKendree, but the Bearcats on the power play. Nichols with a fake slap shot. Now over for Watt. Ty Watt, 1 goal on the season so far for Brennan. He drops it back for Nordlander. Nordlander shoots one on, blocker save. And now a slap shot from Nichols, and that one missed the skate of Davies, as it would have counted, as long as there was no distinct kicking motion. And Novosel taps one away. We're going to be back to 5-on-5 as Nolan gets out of the box with 6:40 left in the third period. And look at Novosel hammering away, and Sabo creating havoc 194 feet away from their goaltender.
Don't say this fourth line can't make an impact on offense. They're not just there to kill time. They're there to make an impact. All 4 lines have scored all season long.
Nordlander dumps it in along the end boards as Speedy Watt gets to it. He's checked by two Illini, but he's able to punch it back to the left point for Young. He fires one, blocked away by Caprio. Joey Caprio could have a rush here with Illinois. Now Sabo up for Cruikshank off his skate. 13 minutes and 50 seconds into the third period. McKendree avoids that one. And now Cruikshank at the other end, talking a bit. Now with number 91, Young, and I wouldn't be surprised if Cruikshank gets an extra minor here. He's got to stay composed. As Young walks away. Exactly what we were talking about, Steven. 5:58 left in the third period of a 6-1 hockey game. And Cruikshank wants a little more physicality, some more action.
Yeah, I was about to praise the play of Sabo and Cruikshank. Great stretch pass to a skating Cruikshank. After the play, though, as the play was continuing, even as they were skating through neutral ice, he was going at Andrew Young, and he continued. Dylan Young was just chirping. Young didn't actually do anything physically attacking Cruikshank.
And Cruikshank, he had some conversations with Ivasinko in the second period. He wants his team to win at all costs. He wants to bury teams, but he's not doing his team any favors by sitting in the sin bin.
No, and that's the second time tonight, the first time on the Quinstell minor, if I'm not mistaken. But this time, yes, that was undisciplined penalty by him. That was just him in the heat of the moment with Andrew Young. And that one's not going to be taken away when they play Lindenwood in 2 weeks. Up to that Lindenwood-Iowa State game also. Lindenwood won in a shootout 2-1.
And I'll have to get confirmation on this from Nick Fabbrini, but I believe with the new rule changes, here's Grant Stube moving in on a near break, and he has his stick slashed out of his hands. The Illini will go to a 4-on-3 power play. We'll get to that in just a second. But the new CSCHL rules, a shootout victory is not necessarily a win in the column. So they do not get the full 3 points. And I'll talk to the head coach Nick Fabbrini about that. It's a new rule change. A shootout basically is a tie, if you will.
So there's another, so doesn't do you any good to go to a shootout.
That's why the 3-on-3 overtime was implemented. They wanted to take away shootout victories, but of course, getting that confirmation
well, it's going to be
at the end of the game.
It's going to be almost impossible for someone not to score on this ice, especially at home.
Bet.
When it's 3-on-3. Maybe at a smaller ice like they have in Ames, Iowa. But here, no, someone's absolutely, they're never going to go to a shootout ever again.
Watch the first game.
Shootout.
Go to a shootout. 4-on-3 play for Illinois. As Opilka's tossed to the ice, but now it's McGing. Slap shot. Oh, and a great save by Best, moving from right to left as Stube was hungry. And Opilka with some more words. 14-17 into the third period as Watt tossed him to the ice.
Yeah, I think each team right now has to settle down. It's a 5-goal game with 5 minutes left, and this is just becoming almost out of hand.
It starts with the refs, though. They have to just toss one of these guys on either team. If they're yapping, there's extra contact. A minute 48 left in the Illini power play. Minute 40. A 4-on-3 time. Out in front, and Stube just whacked at it wide. And Ernsting out in front. This could be a break for Blair Davies. Has Opilka 1-on-1. Making the first move is Davies. He's just going to circle back. It's tough, man. When Tyler Opilka's eyeing you and just daring you to make an extra move. Here's Opilka, 5:15 left in the third period. Here's Opilka. Excuse me, that was Ernsting. Drops one for 22 in orange and gray. Effingham, Illinois native, now over for the Chicago native. McGing has a man in front at Stube. McGing circles on his backhand, drawing the attention of two Bearcats, so he'll go down low for Ernsting. Ernsting has Stube in front. He shoots one deflected away over the netting, hitting the brick wall. 15:06 in the third period. 6-1 our score.
The brick wall. I don't know if these walls are very sturdy anymore. This place was built in 1927, 1929, 1931.
1931.
Yeah,
It's not like you wrote an article on the Daily Illini about it.
Wow, we're just going to talk about that time.
Oh, you don't care about them anymore now, do you? Eric Fisher, of course. Great coverage on the Daily Illini, as now it's Nolan back for Homer, and more on that later.
I had something in my throat.
Back to the left circle. Here's Richter, 2 goals on the game. Could he get the hat trick? Homer over to the far side for Nolan. Homer winds one, and that one was blocked off the skate of number 5, Davis. As here's Richter. Down low for a counter. Counter fakes one to Richter, now straight away for Homer. And now Nolan. Nolan for Homer. The Illini spacing out. Nolan shoots one. Great pass save. Rebound trying just off the outside of the cage for Kellner. Oh, he could have had another goal on the season. That would have brought his total up to 2. Here's Richter on the goal line. 10 seconds left in the 4-on-3. Pass over for Nolan as a man in front. He goes high, and a save made by Best, who's been very sharp in this third period. 4:03 left in the third.
Yeah, ever since Klosterman came out after that first-minute goal by Drew Richter here in this third period, and Best came back in, he's been nothing but solid, stopping everything coming his way. And the Illini peppering Best in this on that shift on the 4-on-3, but to no avail.
This face-off is going to be incredibly important as the Illini have 11 seconds left in the power play, but 5 seconds of 4-on-3 time, so you could win it back, and then Joe Nolan can let one go and see if it finds the twine. Now here's Rittendale. Here's Nolan winding up, and that one went wide of the left pad. Now back to 5-on-5. It's shot towards a man. Barnhart elects to play it with 3:50 left in the third period. 6-1 Illinois. Cristiano Cimento with you. Stephen Cohn alongside. Eric Fisher down at ice level. Rittendale, great pass for Reese. Through the middle. Here's Novacell on the far side. Has Nolan creeping in front. Nolan almost was hit there by Novacell, and McKendree has to just shovel it down the ice. 16 minutes and 30 seconds into the third period. No icing, though.
Yeah, 3 great passes by the Illini on that chance, and that's something that someone like Grant Stuve told us the importance of last week in practice.
Spin around try from Lestrick after Rittendale turned the puck over. Reese, great pass for Nolan. Nolan's got it through the middle, trying to deke. That one's knocked away. Bearcats attempting to get it out. Hatton with a pinch to the left side. 3:05 left in the third. Great pass from Hatton, but it didn't hit a member of the Illini. It hit Jason Belkey. Novacell knocks the puck down, almost tripping over his own skates. Hatton had his pass redirected. And a drive there from Rittendale. If that would have gone in, that would have been a nice one to see on the highlight reel. Now out to neutral ice for Lestrick. Great pass along the stick of Davies, and sprawling out is Barnhart. Instead of poking it away, dives into the low slot. The result is the same. No goal allowed, a stoppage, 17-19 into the third period.
Whatever he's comfortable with, if it's efficient and working, go ahead and do it. Like, that's not the most conventional way to kind of stop that puck. I thought he was just going to poke it away, but if he wants to jump on it, it worked.
And here's Knopf. Quick shot off the draw on a right pad save by Barnhart. It directs in front. And the pegs of the goals here at the University of Illinois have taken a beating tonight. Net dislodged. 2:37 left in the third period. So the Illini, most likely, barring a miraculous comeback, will head to 8-0 on the season. What a beginning to the 2017-18 campaign it's been.
Yeah, I don't think the 5-goal lead's the most dangerous lead in hockey. I think it's a pretty safe one with 2.5 to go.
Shot off the draw, Barnhart with another save. Just padding the stat totals at this point. Jake Barnhart deserves it. He's been one of the best players for the Illini all night long.
Yeah, I know the Illini only gave up 12 shots last night to this team, but they've given up more shots tonight, but I feel like Jake Barnes done a very nice job of. It hasn't been a flurry. The defense has still helped out, but he's done a really good job of stopping basically everything coming his way.
And you bet the first line for head coach Nick Rooney, technically second line, as the McGing, Ernsting, and counter trio started. So Richter, Stuve, and Cruikshank out there. Richter looking for that third goal as Nichols has it. With 2:14 left in the third. Here's Stuve, wanted to hit number 10. Instead, I believe there's going to be delayed offsides as Kendati now for Richter between his legs. A delayed penalty as Barnhart's going to head off. And Richter waiting for that extra attacker. Turek for Cruikshank. Cruikshank with Nichols on him. Will he get to the puck? 1:52 left in the third period. He does. A stoppage. And you got to watch out here after the whistle as Cruikshank was bumped into by Levi Armstrong. The Illini head to the power play. You think Drew Richter's going to be on the ice for this one?
I'm going to guess yes. We'll see.
I'm expecting Joey Caprio to be on this one, too. Probably Evan Sabo as well.
Oh, what a line.
Neo Novacell.
Why not? I mean, utilize these guys. Because you never know what can happen in a hockey game where guys can get tossed, guys can get injured, and there could be fourth-line players
Drew Richter
on the top line. And there's number 10, number 9, number 17, number 19, and 27.
This will be, what, the second hat trick by an Illini player this year following James McGing in opening night?
If it stands, we're putting a lot of pressure here on Drew Richter.
If he scores in the next minute, 52.
And they'll have the power play, barring a goal, for the end of regulation. Home run on the draw against number 12. That's Belke. Armstrong sits for 2. Home run wins it. Now to the left point. That one's knocked away by Belke.
He didn't jump on that one.
He didn't slide out. Yeah, you're exactly right. As here's Richter. Belke and Nolan with some checks. Here's Richter up for home run off of his stick. This may be icing as Reeder will race to it. Referees say play on. Now Kellner has it on his stick. One hands, one up for Richter. Look for number 10. He's got it. Now back for Kellner. Kellner dropped one for Holmgren. 1:15 left in the third period. 6-1 Illinois. Now here's Holmgren. Defers down low for Moskalik, and I believe there's going to be a penalty, a holding minor. So much for a power play goal from Drew Richter, as we're going to get some 4-on-4 action. Kellner gets 2 for holding.
That's the second time tonight as well that the Illini have had a penalty while on offense. So
in the offensive zone.
Yeah, in the offensive zone. So yeah, that's not ideal.
But you know who's staying out there?
Drew Richter. 68 seconds left to score 1 goal and get his first career hat trick for the Illini.
Oh, no, I think he's going off.
Oh, Joey Rinnendale.
We'll see if Richter can get a shift with 15 or so left. 4-on-4 play for the next minute 15, so the entire rest of regulation. Down to 60 seconds. Joe Nolan begging Brennan to come attack, and look what he does, skating around, and look at this. Looks like the 1-3-1 trap at the opposite end. Nolan has 2 men on him, 1 outlet play. Moskalik dodges a hit. This could be a chance for Illinois. So some head games, some mental strategy.
What's the purpose of that?
You have to ask Coach Fabrini after the game.
Maybe we will.
Now on the end boards, 4-man dog pile. If Nolan escapes with this, you know he's going to be off and running. Instead, it's Holmgren. Here's Chance Holmgren, 2-on-3. Gains the line left circle. Trying to interchange. Has 2 men on him. Now 3. He'll just go back. Takes a tumble. Nice deep move from Connor Brennan. He moves in along the left circle. He fires one off the glove. And away by Barnard. Out in front of the redirect. That one was steered wide for 4 seconds. Now down to 2 seconds and 1. And the Illini are going to improve to 8-0 on the season. They sweep the McKendree Bearcats 6-1 tonight. This is just fun hockey from the team in orange and gray.
I don't think Nick Fabrini could have asked for a better start to the first 8 games of this season. The Illini have scored, they scored 10 goals this week, and they outscored McKendree 10-3. They've scored 45 goals in 8 games, and they've allowed 9 goals so far this year. That is as good as a goal differential as you could expect, and the Illini now are 8-0.
Cristiano Simonetta with you. Stephen Cohn alongside Eric Fisher down at ice level. Another fantastic showing from the University of Illinois Fighting Illini Division I team. The game-winning goal scored, of course, but then look at Joe Nolan's opening tally for Illinois. That's what set the standard. Evan Sabo with a nice play. Now to the right side. Drew Richter gets that GWG, his first as a member of the University of Illinois, and it was a terrific forehand-backhand move late in that first period. We're going to get an interview on ice level in just a couple of moments with Eric Fisher, head coach Nick Fabrini. How elated is he, do you think, after starting off the season 8-0, the best record to start a season during his tenure year as a head coach?
Yeah, I think he's just finally found his groove with this team. He's got a very complete roster, and they're fairly healthy right now. And barring anything that happens in the next 2 weeks, they should be very healthy entering their first CSCHL series with Lindenwood.
We're going to send it down to ice level. Eric Fisher's with Illini hockey head coach Nick Fabrini.
Coach, you're off to an 8-0 start to the season. Could you have asked for anything more from your club?
No. You know, I think if you asked us when the season started, this is what we were expecting. And now the schedule really gets tough. With 3 CSCHL weekends in a row and then Davenport after a week off.
Coach, in a couple weeks, you're going to be heading down to Lindenwood to face one of your first real road tests of the season. What are some things that you're going to be looking to see out of your team in this next week to really prepare yourselves for that?
Well, I think the key against Lindenwood for us is going to be minimizing our mistakes. They're going to be the first team that we've played that can really create offense on their own without any help from us with turnovers or bad decisions. So it's really going to be key for us to take care of the puck and make sure we're getting pucks in and out and playing a simple game early.
All right, Coach, congrats to the 8-0 start to the year. Good luck to you. Back to you, Sally's up in the treehouse.
Thank you, Eric Fisher, with the late jab, unsolicited. Reminds me of Eric Cruikshank.
Oh, that was good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I see you.
Shit, but we might suspend this Eric Fisher. I don't know.
I dare you.
Yeah.
What about those road trips, though?
Yeah, no, we're not going to Lindenwood. You got something else going on in your life. You want to tell the viewers about that?
Because they desperately care. My brother is getting married, so I will be in New Jersey and New York during that weekend. So sadly, be the only weekend of games where we will not be on the air. And of course, it will be in the Lions Den in Lindenwood for that series on October 26th and 27th. The play on the ice tonight, though, the Illini outshot McKendree by a wide margin once again. But their first period start, they allow 8 shots and then allow 7. But the Illini only had 20 shots through 2 periods. Is that a cause for concern moving forward, or do you just think that, well, McKendree played a better style of hockey tonight defensively?
Well, first, they played a better style. I don't think the Illini are always going to get 45 shots off another team. But the Illini scored efficiently. Their shots were high-quality shots that were close to the goal. It involved a lot of passing. You saw some in the power play, like Eric Cruikshanks. Drew Richter had 2 great goals, one on the breakaway, one off a pass. So the Illini were doing a very nice job. They were using their shots well. They were taking good shots. But you can't forget about Joe Nolan, the guy that started all this off tonight. The Illini got off to a slow start, 3 straight games entering this game, allowing at least the first goal to NIU and McKendree last night. But they got the scoring started tonight with Joe Nolan less than 2 minutes in this game.
You look at the box score, 35 shots for Illinois, 24 for McKendree. They double their shots from last night, but Jake Barnhart is stellar, 23 out of 24 saves. What did you see from him tonight, and how did he help his stance on this hockey team heading into a great matchup against Lindenwood?
Well, I think you mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. He just stayed calm in the goal. He didn't try to do too much. He let his defense do a lot of the work in front for him, and he was able to follow the puck wherever it was. There was the 1 goal he allowed in that first period, but other than that, he settled in and did a great job. I think Nick Fabrini has a very solid backup goaltender combo between guys like Jake Barnhart and Ross Lippick, and we've seen Eric Ziegler. It was for about 1 minute last week, but he's also a guy.
So this 4-headed monster, if you will, of Illini goaltending. David Heflin will get the start both nights against Lindenwood, of course, barring injury or whatsoever. Is this team ready for divisional play?
If you ask me tonight, I think the physicality was the most that we've seen in their 8 games so far this season. I think you add that into the fact that they got scoring from 5 different guys tonight, defensemen, forwards. We saw some great goaltending this weekend. The defense has been playing great. The passing is crisp. I think this team right now, they've got a lot of divisional play ahead, but I think if you're asking about the Lindenwood games, they're ready to go in and see what they can offer.
Joey Rittendale, Joe Nolan, that tandem, +3 each. Nolan continues to wow us, to wow the score sheets. Will he be a little overwhelmed when it comes to the great skaters on Lindenwood when the temperature's amped up, the opposing crowd is ramped up? It's going to be a fun time to see that lineup. But then when you're Joe Nolan getting over 20 minutes a night, how will he fare?
Well, first, don't forget that Illinois didn't play at Lindenwood last year because of issues at their arena. So anyone that's an underclassman on this team has never actually played at Lindenwood. But for someone like Joe Nolan, I don't think he will be phased. I don't think Chance Homer or Bobby Ernst will be phased. I think it's kind of the 4th line entering CSCHL play for the first time. I don't think we'll see as much Evan Sabo, Neil Novosil, Justin Reese, Rick Haddon. I think we'll see a little less of them involved in the games, but they'll still get their chances because there'll be some growing pains for them. But Lindenwood, they're not bringing back all 12 guys either.
8-0 to start the year. 6-1 win over McKendree tonight. Who was the guy that stood out on either squad? I know you're only here for 1 game. You're able to watch the game back from last night. I could have hinted at it with Joe Nolan, but Drew Richter coming into his own tonight with 2 goals.
Yeah, that had to be Drew Richter's breakout game because it's so. You asked me before the game, like, what has Drew Richter added to that line alongside Eric Cruikshank and Grant Stuve? We've seen Eric Cruikshank and Grant Stuve have the chemistry back and forth in the past, but right now with Drew Richter, I think that line is just as potent as that top line of McGing, Ernst, and Kellner, just their ability to space the ice, and they're able to shoot.
Christian, similar with you. Stephen Cohn for the Illini Hockey post-game show. Like we mentioned, a great showing from Illinois. You talked about it a lot, the extracurriculars. Now we head to Lindenwood in 2 weeks. Eric Cruikshank, there was some shaky play there at the end of the game where it's a 5-goal lead. If you're a player, how do you stay away from that type of contact? What do you put in your mindset that will say, all right, I'll let this guy slash me, let's go beat him in the hockey game?
Well, first, I think that just to someone like Eric Cruikshank and James McGing, that's who they are. We've seen that in the past from them. But overall, I think he just needs to realize his role in the team, his importance to this club, and the fact that he is the guy that this team will rely on to score. And the Illini aren't going to be up by 5 goals in many CSCHL games this conference season. It'll be 1 2-goal games where Eric Cruikshank being on the ice could make that difference, because it's another great scorer for a team like Lindenwood or Iowa State or Ohio to focus in on. So if Eric Cruikshank's not on the ice, that's going to be an issue. I think he has to realize how important he is to this team.
Joey Rittendale with a big impact. Joey Caprio can't find his way onto the goal sheet. What do you think he's done well moving into a series against Lindenwood where it's going to be tight scoring, it's going to be tight checking, and number 5 in orange and gray is going to see a multitude of minutes?
Well, I think he's still got a positive plus-minus, which is great to see, so that he's not hurting the Illini when he's on the ice. He's still a great defender. He does a great job in front of the nets. I think he just needs to he'll get his goals. It's not like he scored them 8 last year.
He scored 4 last year. He certainly wants one. A breakout guy in that series against Lindenwood before, or you can
I think
go on.
He wants one, but I think it's more important to him that the team actually wins. And I think he's doing a great job making an impact.
And that's a team-first mentality you have to be successful, not only in the ACHA, but at any level. So going back to my question there, a breakout guy, when we get back in early November against Iowa State, who will we be talking about, for better or for worse?
I think we'll be talking about John Moskaluk. I think the third-line right winger, he's with Homer and Quinn. They haven't really had that much scoring going on. He's been able to find the back of the net a few times. He's made a great impact on offense as a rookie for this team. But I think someone like John Moskaluk is going to continue improving, and he's really going to start to shine once we get to conference play.
Yeah, Moskaluk hasn't scored in a couple of weeks. Maybe that early scoring touch has taken a bit of a cold streak. But that third line's still been playing pretty dominant, with Homer having a huge role in this hockey game, becoming a leader, not taking any undisciplined penalties, and getting that role on the second power play unit, which we haven't seen from number 9, because he has a great seeing eye shot. The special teams aspect of this weekend, the Illini did a better job on the penalty kill, but they're going to see a much better Lindenwood Lions group, especially if they find themselves shorthanded at the Lions' Den.
Yeah, it's obviously... Sorry, just lost my train of thought. It's been an incredibly long day between the Illinois-Rutgers game, where Illinois lost that one, but Illinois finds a way in this one. The Illini 6-1 over McKendree.
So one team wins.
Yeah, one Illinois team wins today, but the one that's club, so not for long.
Oh, did you just hint at something there?
Oh, I think you've hinted at it before.
Okay.
Illini drive with Ori.
Okay. Yeah, you got me there for the shot at the DI. We hope all those guys are listening. I can't wait for the text messages to start pouring in.
Pouring in.
As we near the end of this post-game show. Eric Fisher talked to head coach Nick Fabrini. Is this the best start you can have for a team? Or he said, excuse me.
What is the best start they can have?
Well, yes.
They haven't lost.
They haven't lost.
And no one got hurt.
But what he asked was, is there anything more that you can ask from your team? He said no. Am I a little skeptical there that I think he may have given the wrong answer?
I don't think Nick Fabrini gives wrong answers is the first thing. The man knows what he's doing. I think right now he's just going to let his team enjoy this. They have 2 weeks until they're finally playing again. So they get a little time off now, a little breather after 8 games in 4 weeks. It's been a whirlwind for you, I know, between 60s home games and going to Illinois State. So they're going to get that little breather. Now they get a long time, which is very beneficial to prepare. So I think with what he expected out of his team in non-conference play, they exceeded everything, because to outscore your opponents by 36 goals, can't do any better. But I think entering CSCHL play, I think there are things they need to improve on defense, on passing, on the special teams, things you could always just improve on, and those are the types of goals he's going to set for the next 2 weeks.
The Illini will head into a week of practice with a weekend off. They head to Lindenwood in 2 weeks. We unfortunately cannot bring you the broadcast, the telecast for those, but we will be back in action when the Iowa State Cyclones come to town in early November. For Eric Fisher, the great engineering crew here at WPGU 1071, alongside Stephen Cohn, I'm Cristiano Semena. We'll see you in November for Breast Cancer Awareness Weekend. This has been the Illini Hockey win over the McKendree Bearcats here on WPGU 1071.